Ibulay pi barwa. Ipidang sobhay pi syakatuk kubor jong pengot cable news. Haswa bangini sedang ya ki kubor pi jong ini kami syai ki mat bangsan. Sedang ke Darbar Senrai benyau ko VPP berpenong tangsan singi ke Darbar. Haurisa on sedang ke jingi keren pembek buat dapat yang ke Assam dan Meghalaya. Ka One Nation One Election. Ka BJP ka di ban penduk no iki parti ki berit bariah. Kwa ka KAAC ban trelang bat ka KHADC ban wan ra ya ka syongsuk syongsan hakaput. Hang tala ki bor peniak ka Riboy district bat pulet ya ka kerdap krong khajna ka KHADC ha umdiha. Pli uhimanta bat Konrad ya ka Karbi Bhavan Haselong. Bat pli menteri rambak ka Meghalaya ya ka Wine Incubation Center ka baningkong ha ka than dalam ni. Kador Barsen Rai jong kayen rebar tau ang ke jela kala sedang ha ka sitok din jong tayo. Bat ha ka ni ke si sedang ki MLA jong ka sang VPP ki lapan pau ke jing benyau halor ke jing penlong tang san sengi ke ni ke dorbar ya ka ba on yo alat bania tai halor ki mat ki pepun.
Maria sedang ke Dorbar, ulam panggeng Dorbar Tauan ke Jelau Thomas Sangma, ula pentip bagi jingyalang jang ke Business Advisory Committee, kala syeme karai ban penlong ya ke Dorbar Senrai ke Basan Sengi, ha ke balamang lai sengi ya ke Government Business bar Sengi na ke benta, ke Private Member Business. Ulam pang ula pentip bula yo pediang ya ke jing tho nu MLA ke North Shillong uba Adelbert Nongrum bandawa ban pinklano ya ke jing bo sengi ya ke Dorbar namar balamang tang ar sengi ya ke Private Member Business. Ba ke jing penlong ya ke Dorbar kalong ke belengkot balat bat kinong ikmat kinam yo ban pensingo kimat ki bakongsan ki bedai ba ke jela. Habawan ra ke motion of amendment uba Adelbert ulaong baki don bun ki jingja rayon amla bane tailut yikine baro tang ha ke Dorbar ke balong san sengi. Bad ulaong ba ke jing penlong lengkot ke Dorbar ke de ke jing peniap ke riti sen syarpat ba. Sembut Menteri Rang Ba ke Jelau berkemi ru ya ke Parliamentary Affairs uba Preston Tunsong ulaong ba ha ke jingelang jong ke Business Advisory Committee kiletai sani berkumta kila syeme karai ban penlong san sengi ya ke Dorbar hendrai pok ke jing start jong lampang la don kam la ban penjelan ya ke por syong Dorbar daar nelai kenta ha ke jing syong Dorbar uba Preston Tunsong ula kentu ke liang persya bagi ne syong perkatlang ban pha kimat ekran namar laju saki bagi jing keli motion 0 hour notice bat kiwe omi alat menekran ne tai bat ki dikot ki jupa aru iki jo kimat benetai ka basu penserwa ka ya kapor hadin gane ke jing pentikna bandon ke jing penjelan ka kenta jong Dorbar uba Adelbert Nongrum ulo wengno ke motion of amendment ki dikot ki yang Dorbar ki laket mau ya ki laingot ki nong mi kmat ki barim jong ke jela ki bala klatno ba ki laket mau buram ki bat kini ki kentup uba Anet Shabong ba Andro yok nyau ba Wilfred Singgiri bat ki we ki nong mi kmat ki bana keleng ki jela jong kari.
And given only 2 days to private members business is not enough when there are so many pressing issues concerning the state. Mr. Speaker, sir, please let me cite a few important issues just so this legislature is made aware of what is happening in the state of Meghalaya. Ranking of the state as per National Index on Poverty and Education is the lowest in the entire country. The menace of drugs and how are we fighting it? Student concern on the national education policy. The cry of our educated youth who are not gainfully employed. Loopholes in methodology for state quota seat of MBBS. Parliament amendment to the Forest Conservation Act. Disruption of environmental public hearing for expansion of cement factory in East Giant Hills. High-handedness of police in public protests. Continuing imbroglio on Tamoto. The question of funding for Shillong Cherry Blossom Festival. So with deep concern, I ask, can these burning issue and many more which directly affect the common people of the state be sufficiently addressed in just 5 days of house sitting? Why such an attempt to restrict length of session? What is the underlying agenda? A short assembly is nothing less than a murder of democracy. Now, I am aware of the norm that every report tabled in the House before it is put to vote is allowed an opportunity to be discussed. Therefore, under Rule 231 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business, I move a motion for amendment to the allocation of time table proposed by the Business Advisory Committee.
House. So there are many issues which we have to, request the people that we will not be able. So much of issues have already been brought forward by the public since we are in the opposition. Maybe the members belonging to the treasury, they are not getting that much of requests from the public. There is problem everywhere. So if this is not the place where we can discuss and raise and suggest the government, because we are here as the opposition to criticize the government constructively with the expectation that the government will take serious note of those criticisms so that we can really take the state forward. So, sir, I would strongly support the motion moved by the honorable member, and if the House feels that this is the right place for us to discuss issues, may I request you to kindly consider the motion, sir.
Raised by the honorable members, it's so important. The only point here I would like to request, especially from the honorable members from the opposition side, while submitting the issues, it would be appropriate if they sit down together. Because I've seen it, be it the question, be it the motion, be it the resolution, be it the special motion, or be it zero or notice, overlapping. The same subject, again, one member submitted, we replied. Honestly, that time was just wasted. So if they have this kind of discussion well before time, well coordination is before time, nothing like it, where they can submit, and even your good officer can regulate accordingly, where we can really take up those important issues. Because as I said to you, I've seen it, even the motion, those important motions, it is, maybe it gets lapsed before we are able to take it up. Why? Because other motions was already listed for that particular day. So this is what's happening, sir. And as I said to you, sir, for this autumn session, in fact, the BEC has already had a detailed discussion about all the issues. Therefore, accordingly, we decided to recommend to the House for allocation of time proposed by the BEC. So this is my clarification, sir, and I would like to request your, again, your chair, sir, to again go ahead and approve the proposed allocation of time.
Motion moved. Now let me put a question before the House. The question is that this House agrees to the allocation of time proposed by the Business Advisory Committee with regard to various items of business for the current autumn session 2023. Those who are in favor say aye. Those who are against say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried and the House agrees to the allocation of time proposed by the Business Advisory Committee for the current autumn session 2023.
Dak jungmu benele ban penyat biang sakman ya kejinge keren penbet put hakasi balang jogota yau kaladon ka jinge kendu apdeng menteri rang ba ka Assam u Dr Himanta Biswa Sarma bat u menteri rang ba ka Jela Meghalaya u Konrad K Sangma ha sekretariat bat kila shemi karai banda do ubnai risau on sedang biang no ya kejinge keren penbet yu put usam ha kawat kabaar.
Habaya keren bagi nong patai kubor Konrad Kongkal Sangma uloong bakam shimladon kanu kejingmi na gede kejingnya keren hendrai kene kejingnya kendo kanangai beteng na kapor syakapor. Uloong ba bro arteli gejela ki yang scam ban penbet no yupur usam bat bro arteli gejela kila shimikilat klenti bane keren na kejingnya sengutuk jengmud ban penbet no yupur usam joki hendrai uteli gejaka ki badan ha kejingnya kajaput ha pedang ka Assam bat ka Meghalaya. Himanta Biswa Sarma ulapan paw ke jengkong san jengki artli gejela ban netrelang ban penbet ya uput usam. Ban penpaw ke jengkermen ban la ban penbet no ya uput usam jengki hindrat li gejaka ke badan ke jengi per jengmut. Ulong bahau benai risau hadin balakut ke dorbar senrai jengki yang dorbar tawan kan sedan ke jengi kendu pedeng ke asam ban ke Meghalaya ban ya keren ban ya penbet. Himanta Biswa Sarma ulong bahaswa bagi Menteri Rangba kinelet lang ban jurip ya kajaka kaput ki kwa ban shim shwa kilat klenti ban yo shwa ke jingshania no patba ban andala dep ikania ken selet ban jurip ki jaka hagi than kaput bat kine kren ru bagi patba ki ba shong hagi shnong kaput. Menteri Rangba ke Asam ul kentu ki patba haga jaka kaput ban penek ya ka shong suk shong san. Bat ki artli ki sorkar jela ki la persang kat bala ban penbet no ki jingya kaja kat kum ke jinghun jong patba nabaro artli ki jela.
And the Deputy Chief Minister of Meghalaya and myself, we had a small discussion on the issues of border issue that is being discussed between the two states. And as you're aware that this is an ongoing process, and every opportunity we get to discuss the matter helps us to get to a better understanding. So with that objective in mind, we took this opportunity to sit together and discuss about certain situations, certain conditions and certain issues that were coming up and how we could possibly move forward. So this is part of the exercise, part of the process. There is no definitive outcome of it, and this exercise time to time will continue. So I thank the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam and the CEM of the Karbi Anglong Autonomous District Council and our Deputy Chief Minister who's heading the regional committee in Jaintia Hills region for their time, and we had a very positive discussion on the matter, and we are hopeful that we'll be able to slowly and steadily move towards a resolution and also ensure that there is peace in that area, and the different misunderstandings that are coming once in a while, we hopeful that we'll be able to resolve those issues also.
As I was in Shillong, or I am in Shillong, I thought it proper to pay a visit to Sri Conrad Sangmaji. I met him. We discussed the ongoing works on the regional committees. There are a lot of progress. Recently, we could finally agreed on the survey post of on Hahim. Finally, it has been resolved that both government of Meghalaya and Assam could agreed on the border post. So there are a lot of progress is happening on both sides. We discuss about confidence building measure too. But today, as discussion was very, very unofficial and informal, we don't want to announce some decisions or something like that. Only thing is to say that this informal meeting will be followed by a formal meeting, and then of course whenever we meet formally we take some decision and we communicate to the press. So today meeting between the Chief Minister of Assam and Meghalaya can be treated as one of the confidence building measure, and I'd like to request our people in the both side of border to maintain peace, harmony, because they must remember that we are working overtime to resolve the dispute. We want to keep the best interest of people living in the both side of the border in our mind. We want to protect interest of the people living in border. So be calm, remain in peaceful, remain in peace, help us. We'll try to resolve the dispute to the satisfaction of both the people of Assam and Meghalaya. What we want to do quickly hereafter, we want to sit in a formal meeting, and then probably we'll be able to take some confidence building measure, and with that confidence building measures we'll visit the border, because we thought that our visit should not create tension, because if we both CM goes to the area and after our return there is a fresh tension, then people will blame us. So we want to quickly do evolve some confidence building measures, and we hope to do that. That is why we said today. Thereafter we'll have a formal meetings. Once that confidence building measures are formalized, we'll both go to the site and we'll discuss with the people of border village also. When we went to Lampi, there was lot of festivity. So we want to go to the Karbialong and Jaintia Hills also with the same kind of festivity.
Ka kenhuan menteri jong ke sarkar jela kabalai kendu akasihat majai jong te yo kala sheme karai ban pendam no ya ki atli ki project penmi boarding electric ka kenshi stage 1 bat ka upper kri stage 1 bat 2 bat kala shemru ekarai ban thau ya ka state water informatics center lani ke SWIC bat ya ka engineering wing hapok ketenat pulit
Hadian balawai ke jingelang jengka kenhun menteri, habai kiran bekilat patai kubor. Menteri rang ba ke jelau Konrad Kongkal Sangma, ulang ba ke sarkar jela kelarai ban pendamno ikniki artli project penmi boarding, kedai namar ke jingbam yok pisah. Bat kador, kelanang kiau, bagi company ke lesimpor parat ban pentrai ikniki project. Ulang bagi sarkar kan sesya mikilat kelinti banwat giwei pat ki company nelek se ki joy ki company tambah kan deno de guru company bet ke betmai namar kumbalong mentai kini project kemia hap show bat kador ke balabo ke sarkar jela klai soy ke sekolah hagas 6 arajar hnyau haga bedai bat ke kenci stage 1 kat ba ha upper kri stage 1 bat 2 lai soy hagas 6 arajar kat arajar kat lai
is that though the projects were signed at different levels and different stages, there are two parts. Number one, while we go for private parties to take up the projects, it's quite simple to give it to them. When the power is generated, we don't get much of it. We only get 12% as free power. The rest, if tomorrow the company comes and through the regulatory commission, if they say that you have to buy this power at 8 rupees, then we have no choice, we have to buy at 8 rupees. So the question arises whether how feasible it is for the state government, how feasible is it for the people of the state, how feasible is it for the government. Now today, for us to produce and go forward in a project like say, just to give another example, say Leshka, thousands of crores of investments will have to be made in order to produce another 100 200 megawatts out there. Now that kind of investment being made say in a solar mission which we're doing at 500 megawatt 500 crores which we're going to implement in the next 5 years, are these going to be more beneficial? So ultimately one has to study the technical and financial viability of the project and see whether it's going to make sense for us to invest so much of money, especially again keeping in mind that if we give it to private sector, there is no commitment of giving us power, so we have to buy it from them at even a high rate. And number two, for us to take up the project on our own also, with MECL having a large financial stress on it even today, would it be financially viable for us to do that in the long run? That aspect then has to be seen. So the decision may sound very simple, but it has large implications in the years to come, and hence we have to be very careful. We feel that it is more important as of now today to efficiently run the system that is already existing. How do we ensure that the supply of power that we have, how do we rationalize it? How do we make sure that we are able to purchase it at a more better rate and sell at a high rate whenever we can? And how to improve the overall efficiency in working of all the systems. Today you'll be happy to know that all the units of the power supply today are actually functioning. All the units. There was a time when, stage 2, 3 of Umyam was not working, or 2, 3 of the turbines were not working, anything. And we were having huge loss. Today, we are producing almost close to 4 million units of power a day. That's the highest we have ever produced. So I think it's important to look at these efficiencies and overall efficiency in terms of our AT&C losses. So all these areas are important. So production is also important. But as I said, we need to be very careful in where we commit our financial commitments so that in the long run we're able to get maximum benefit for the people of the state, keeping in mind the investments we have to make. So it's a very calculated decision we have to take.
Ka kanuhun menteri, ka laai jing menjur ban penkano yak engineering wing ha katanat pulit jong jela. Kenang bagat tanat pulit kan la pensim kiahi dalade ki jing don kam ha kabedai, bat kinu ki jing tai bat barush kata katanat pulit ka haban bod ikarukam trekam ka basimpor bahatang manle ki kam maramot newat tang bansnai ki jakalit bar. Ukonrat kongkal sangma ulong bada ka jing don jong ke engineering wing kan sele hino ki kam ki bansna ne ban baramot ha katanat pulit.
An engineering wing was required because in the absence of an engineering wing, the department would have to follow different procedures which are very time consuming and involve different agencies to do small things like even repair of a bathroom or repair of a thana or repair of a barak. So all these kind of activities that are there will now be done by the engineering wing. And as you're aware, last year we had come up with the decision to sanction and keep certain funds at the discretion of the SP and the DC of every district, so that they can use that money for immediate repair work at the district level, so that proper infrastructure can be provided for policing. And this decision today will allow that decision to be implemented in a better manner and ensure that whatever basic requirements that the police personnel need at the district and the grassroots level, those requirements can be met.
Hagawai pergaliang kekunhun menteri kala ajing menjur bantha wega State Water Informatics Center SWIC bannu mi gijing tip kebedai bat ki ki wa ki bahag jela. Menteri rangba ulong bak SWIC kanu mi gijing tip ki ki wa ag jela ki bakan top ek slap ke jingrben ko ki wa ki jaka ki bami ki telong ki sing yar bat kan sampat gini gijing tip je kitanat sarkar kum ka PHE katanat soil katanat garap karyang ke disaster management bat ki bai. Ulong magane ke dairu shibenta jong jing batha jong katanat jal shakti jong sarkar pedeng.
Basically, this is a part of the larger picture which is coming from state government as well as from central government. Water mission from our side is yes, a water policy that was created as a large. So these agencies will actually help us to be able to keep the data and information with us to be utilized in the correct manner for respective departments. So tomorrow, this is the center that is going to tell us that every year we are seeing a dip in say the water supply or the catchment areas in say for the Shillong water supply scheme. It is this center that is going to collect the data every year using satellites, using human manpower at the grassroots level, using different technologies, drones to then survey and keep this data. So this is an information database of analyzing, recording the water movement in the state from now on to the coming years, to allow us then to make decisions on how we need to adjust based on climate change and other things, on how we need to adjust for farming activities, for drinking activities, or even flood activities that are there. So that's the basic principle.
Menteri rangba uletho ba kekenun menteri kelarai ban raru yalai teliki ordinance hagdur jongka bill kebagenthop ban pendukno Ekarajat Lal University Act Arajar Katway Kameglaya Goods and Services Tax Act Arajar Katnyo bat ya Kameglaya Medical Council Amendment Bill Arajar Arpulai. Yagini ki bill onra agdor bar senrai joking dor bar tawan kejelak ban sedang nado kakat Tarik mentau nailur.
Those ordinances need to be regularized in the House, and those ordinances were brought today in terms of an amended bill or a bill, and that will be put up in the Assembly. So the first was the repeal of the Rajat Lal University Act 2011. If you recall, we had repealed this through an ordinance. Second was the amendment of Meghalaya Goods and Service Tax 2017. These are amendments that are mandated in terms of the GST Council. The decisions that have been taken by GST Council are then implemented by the state governments, and every state government then has to amend the GST Act, the state, as per the amendments made by the GST Council. Third was the amendment bill for the Meghalaya Medical Council Amendment Bill 2023. This again was an ordinance, if you recall, and if you go back into your notes, you will see the reasons why there were some changes, nomenclature changes were there, and those have been made, and the ordinance was passed a few weeks back, and that now again is being regularized.
MLA kanong po constituency uba Meral Bonds im hakasi hat majai jong kata yo ula keno ba ka jingdan bon ki khadap krong khajna bat ka jing bam dan karel kit mar kala penlong ye ki marba mardi ban kiu dor ka ba penlong pat ye ki pat ba ban mat ki jing e
Habakran kilat patai kubor uba meral bon si mulong bagi jingkiu dor palat ki marbam ki marbadan kam dai tang ha Meghalaya ndrei hagari bergawe ndrei nakal yang kesorkar jela kala persangkat bala mentelakam halor kani ke jingkiu dor ki marbam ulong bagi jela Meghalaya kedan bon teli ki kerdop krong khajna hakeleng ke surak ba bala dagi trok ki haban siu ke khajna kan penlong pat yaki nong wan kit ki marbam bat ki mar ki mata bekongsan ban penkiu ya kedor Uniu MLA na keseng UDP ulong balada don karel kit mar kenirap hagaban pendunai kedor jengi marbam bat kiwe kimar. Kumta kalong kebadan kam bandon ya karel kit mar tang badai bandon lang ru ikian kum ke inalain permit haga jela. Ha kebaidai bagajing temu ke sorkar pedang banwan ra ke uniform civil code. Uba meral bon siem ulong ba umla ban pediang namar kai tengko bat kiriti dostur ki anher pateng ki customary laws ke Christian Marriage Act bat kiwe. Ulong bakadan gejingma la dapen trekam ya ka UCC ha Meghalaya bat kathan chtai lam mi.
Dor ki mar ke mata. Kani kedi kawi ne ki mat ki ba kongsan hado kata. Ki pajba la gade ha jela Meghalaya la ne ha ka ri India baro kawi ne ki mat ki ba kongsan. Pi ka jela ke jungi ukhau ni dang depend be na ki jela ke na seri thor. Uphan ni ha kmi inti wan salan na ri thor. Upiat ni habban kmi inti ban salam na rithor bat ki babun kitiar gidawai gidasin kijing don kam kitiar gitar la kumno oi phi kijing don kam jungi ki essential commodities ke bengi ong haktin pareng la kumno kumba prapo persen kijing don kam jungi kiwan na ba toothpaste ne toothbrush ne ki jan phong ne kom ta ter gini baro gini kitiar marbam mardi baro kijing kiudor kam dir tangki marbam mardi kitar kulom ka mobile di babun gini kitar kali motor poro ka kiudo jadi kita kadau ha ka bedi paga jela ka jungi ngasngo ba kawi ni kimat ban address ni pi ila jukren ya ka railway kawi ni kimat kibat kongsan ban nyarap ngomong bagane 6% kan nyarap hi ban pendunai ka do ha ka bedi bat kimar kimatai marbam mardi ladakan poi tang begide ki good train kimde ki passenger carrying train ha ka jing sungo jang simet ngasungo ba ka railway ka de banwan keeping in mind tang ba ki mechanism lani ki an banyada ki ban long in place kum ganuksa ka jing dawa ya ka inner line permit ka de ka kongsan ado kata ki bangju kren ka por akan ka session ka bamantar nga kan ni ka mat mangan kren biang ya kan inner line permit ILP. Number 2, kajing pentrikam ya kami Meghalaya Resident Safety Security Act arjar khandriu. Kadon ka amendment ya kini, kapusnya arjar arpo. Bangi tip ke Meghalaya Resident Safety and Security Amendment Bill. Kaba u gubernur 4 ka asen hadu mentah. Ha bangin hapan. Kenang mamagani ketika an kebal ada ban pas kala di ban trikam. Bagi don gilatung ke sorkar gilatung ye kini ki labor commissioner kiwi ki nongkit kam ki staff ke bade la gade po labor department la gade tourism department homeling la de ban identify ya ka facilitation center ke ban check ye ki kot ki sla borung turis ne utai ban yo jing khen borung bomi baru ginong songwai gini kita ke jing trelang ha bade polis ki dorbar snong kini ki mechanism ki ba ki ade ban don lupa ka Meghalaya Resident Safety Security Act ka inner line permit bat kiwe ki mat ka jing penklan ya ki dorbar snong ladangi kwa bante lakam ya gejing wan jong ki mender ya gejing wan rung ngihap ban penti kena bagi bordar jongi ngidon kinong sensar snong ki ban penti kena ba kinom ailat ba kin rung pathar khamtam ki snong ki badon ha bordar gejing ai residential certificate gejing ai songwai kopta terser kidon sipun kini baling keren ni keren sepangkabam gede gejing kudo magani ka relate sa railway sa ki mechanism bania dayang ni ding takana oi ba kini ki an ki bak sarkar jela di de ban pentrikam no ki khnang bang ini ada hadin kata ka railway la dakin poi gini ki goods carrying train ki ban kit ki marbam lani ki tiar gitar ki dawai ki dasin ki tiar gitar mi sin ayun hadapi kiwan hida ka rel kantat sibun kata kada gejing sya mendi pathar la dapin lek karule lan mendi kala don kadon hi gejing per tu ha ka ban la ban bobe ya sistem bar kata tek tian mar kata ha ka bede bi kamar bam mardi kani kadi ka we ne kilan ngamong bagane kan sob 6% dan re anis kan is kumbakatsan 40% kan yarap nagam taban penduna ya gador jong kimar mata kimar bam ki mardi badak sagawi ga benta ka jing buntan gini ki jaka krong khajna ki bala i sirkhei ban pe la ga de national highway route mi amap su menta ban pe ni don su ya krong me su ya bat kti su ai kti hang tu te ni nang ta gadau automatically transportar open he ega dor bar bo bukit ikut kamar uhak khen ha West Bengal ulut kata urung Assam ulut kata urung Meghalaya ulut kata urung hagi district fair ulut kata kita sipun kini kimat ki fair kiba kata directly indirectly kin kata ya kador jongki mar ki mata dan mar kata kini di katok ani kidau ki bangi haban check ngi haban penting kena ba kim de ban urlong kini gijat jinglum khajana ki ba klem jingmut ki basu pen Lumar ke besu pen hedor ya ke mar ke mata ke jemi
Uba Meral Bons iem ula pentip bahadian balakut ke Dorbar Senrai kan sadon ke jinglet jurip lang ya ki jaka ya kaja pedang ke Regional Committee jong ke Meghalaya bat Assam bat wat ya ka jingyalang jong kini ke Regional Committee an sepenlong hadian ke Dorbar Senrai. Ula pentip bagi Regional Committee Ribhoi District keladak bancong jingyalang bat kela temuru banit jurip igisnong ke badan hakatan Dish Dumria Bordwar nongwak mau temur bat blok 2. Dari namar ki daw bam lakyar kilhab ban pensengi aswa. Ha kabayday pat bat ka jingsha penthut ki kampenroy hitan kaput. Uniu MLA ulong badan kampanye keren smoto apdeng berarti ki sarkar jela bat ki bord district ban pentikna ba ki kam ki bapentre kam ki kampenroy kim day ban sha penthut. Namar kenikan penduk nong ki nong shong snong jong berarti ki jela ki badan hakatan kaput. Hakabayday bagajing senior jang kesurok na nongpo omden Chado Sonapur kebadan san pukundai kilometer UMLE kanongpo ulong bag sarkar kalamang prapusau kelor tengka hakawat kebenengkong bansnai kesurok hakajing jerong ke baar pusan kilometer bat hadian kania an sabeteng bansnai kesurok ke basa salai pusau kilometer hakawat ke baar ula kentui kipat ba bakini Aisyah Spor bat ula shimkhia banekren bat ke sarkar jela na gebenta banyo ya kejing mang tengka na ke World Bank banyo bansnai kesurok hakawat ke baar ban penbet penbiang ya kelit kawan jekipat ba Uba Meral Bons iam ulai kublairu iginong shong shnong kiseng bhalang ke belas ngokai kani kejing e jengkipat ba namar kejing senia shobah palat pot jeng surok pada ulong ba komu MLA ula shimkhia banekren banyo bansnano kani ke surok ke batamai bat ke bahe Nre hakini singi banwan an maramot no malumala ya kini kesurok ban pensuk ya kalit kawan.
Jingidei ban yo no ya usurok bobit bobiang haga bedei bat ka numpo umden Sonapur road kaba jerong gumba san pundai kilometer ye. Kani gede ka jing angut jong dipat ba wala kam slem ngadu katem ka bala dep mangalong kumu emele ki pat ba ki langnut hi ba di benyo no surok bobet bobiang bobha margun surok las new sebab palat di nakaliang jongar ha gatem ka bala dep ina persang hiban yo e sanction yo new surok tang ba kidon sibun ki daw ki ba amsem lala ban pen urlong ya kani ke sanction yo new surok uba ka estimate lagam no kamduna ya ka prapusau pluri bagi jerong kalong agak first phase bala penman kalong atusan kilometer Jadi nak tagadau hagane ka kenti ka pementa hadin bagi pajba kila ibit ban penjob yang ngasisin kum UMLA na ka nongpo konsensi kani ka digawe ni kimat ki bahak mat nalor kimat ki bedi bat ka kot ka khia kimat ki bedi bat ka pule ka puthi kimat ka bedi bat umbam umdi de kani ka kasurok ka digawe na ki pentai ka kongsan ba yang aku UMLA mengentre bikam din tagadau ngasuban apil ya kipat ba marba bekinya syak sipor na marba idang sujop election mentadang kumba ndriu benai idang don hagalenti naga bentakum no benyo sanction no surok lengba ka World Bank hagne ka wat ka baar lene ka phase 2 ida yo benya keren bah bat i menteri bedon borong bat menteri rangba bat ki officer ki meeting prepare ki ba ngila yo benya kendu naga liang jongar ku memele ni simkhia ikat balak ke kajing apil ke jongai ki pajba nang song khamtam ki ba penon kam ya usurok nanong po Syomden banlecha Sonapur nang tagi banlecha ki area nong teluk mathan rupju saduk sanong khap somtrai som siang jete banesha sipor menta ngidon hagalenti ban penbet penbiang kwa ban tikenang ni ya ka status le ban update ya kajing ya lenti kum nong mikmat ngim syom song thai ki don ki nong song snong ki don ki paralok ki don ki seng balang kiba sengu kiai kan ke kam ni sengu burom ya kata kila pen sengu kila pen sengap kala bende yang asimet kala bende yang bagi social media kala bende kot kubor ni ai kubli kerpa ya kiwe ro ki perlok kibala sengu kiai kan ke kam kibala kersan lem na ka bata kumno bikin la ban yo no loi teng so ban ai ka jing ai men sim ya ki pai ba no sung tapi so ha ban sha bat kloi kat bala na ga liang jong akum MLA bat tenat jong pludi ngin sa la ban penyo ga section bat menta ha gini sising arsi na ga banta ban khamsuk ki pai ba nong le nong wan ngilai pen bet bangin repair malumala ban penha ni ya kita put hole gini kita kat bala ngin persang ha gini ka tang surang slap dan ya gini sising arsi na ga ban kam pensuk ya ki nong le nong wan bat ba ni kermen scam bangin yo ban budin kulai kat bala na ga ban yo ai kan sanction ga fast phase ka arabsan kilometer na ga ban yo surok bahe uni di intermediate lane ka bangin nang pha ga jing terwa mentaru ko ba kan ni ga pengkyang ulong kumba san pon san bitare ha ka ba kan kin suk ki nong le ki nong wan bat ki bandon ki kali ki motor ki papang ki bachtom ki boleh kit ki marap mariang moro kan kam pensuk ki sibut da gede gede pensai bang kwa ban ha se pai ba nong song sunong jong ka nong po om si ba tin so ba ban yesha na kuma mile jong pi ngai budin ya gede kam ban long kulai ka bala kan ko ya do sunong pam jiri
te tharai kum ba pi ong wi pai ba bon yesha ka tu kat ni tamar kade kajung yesha ka tu kat ni ne kumno kadang simpor na
MP hak ki pai ba gala sutu ba ga tem ga bala dep bali kam urlong ngadon na galeng persya kam sitom ni bani asang shot ka he kam tam te menta pa tolong pai ba la ibit ban pen job yang te ngi don lang po sorkar menta te na galeng jo ngaru la de ga tem ga ba arong ga job menta ga de ka tem ga bangin habi le kat bala ban wara ya ka roy ka par
Ki patba nong shok shnong jong than umden bat kiwei kelemi patba akakat santrik unai lor arjar arpulai ban pensawajam ya kasur jengdawa nak sarkar jela bahkan penyo no mardor da kasurok kebapakan ru nong po shedu umden margini ki patba kelapen pau ha gajing simbenta ha ka signature campaign bala penlong ha gsnong umden ha distrik ribhoi la ban kro ba kasurok nong po umden sonapur kabasan pukundai kilometer ke surok ke balapan sertok bahai kelet kawan jeng kipat ba tang namar kejing bamdon syuk kejing maramot ne kejing pentemai ke surok daki senam bat kene kelebu jeng ya shikade e kelet kawan bat kakit ke ba jeng kipat ba namar kejing jot jeng ke surok ha kene ke signature campaign la sakhi ba le shimbenta de kipat ba ke balas ngo nya ya kejing mat jeng e jengki namar kejing long jeng man jeng nek surok bat ya kene signature campaign lapen long de kenong po constituency political committee na kalian kinong keren baro akene kesingi kilapen paw kejing sertok kabakilamat tang nakadaw jong kejing long jeng man jong nek surok kinong syakshonong kelimi ipat ba bandawaru nak sarkar MDA kata ya menteri rang ba kejela usembut menteri rang ba kejela bat kiwe bakin pai kemat no mardor na gebenta ban senapan bahano ya kene kesurok kenang bakan embu jeng ia kibriau kamtam ha kapang kesitom
Kalau na bentar bang sim bentalang na bentang ni kesurok marga ni kesurok hi bang iya kalong palat sebab palat namar bangi kelenti bolong tang arpu kilometer nanong po hang ne ide binya tang arpusan lai po minit po andrai habam por hadu ar kenta tam ada don lagi beri bepang becitom tentang gila ban klat po surok po mla mar benteng mar bayo khakun le tentang gila ban kha po surok bro margi pajba lagi lah semjing pala nang diga jakangi balik bawan yang ti kan ada long ke balai te sarkar la dai ben pai kham kloi ni kajing angnut borok sikata pajba paispa nadu urang ba hadu long keme hadu khna hadu islamla ngidon kam ya kalenti ngidon kam ya kesurok ke bawah nang ba nginyo kajing mentoy ha ke imlang salang borok kowe jong kan ka thang ka jong namar ladangim yo kalenti ke sengkin ke babha ngin im kumno ngin rai kumno ngin par kumno hak imlang salang jong kajai benriu wat dan kibriu ki bom kwa ya kasurok nadu balakha hadu bala temen ro barok nidon kata kacing kwa balai kwa kadau kolong ni kwa ban yo ay kacing im hakaroy kapar haka suk kasan ban yo roy par ikun ki hajar lane ki pajba jong ka state ni jong gari mat jong ka district nomor kata ngak sukia ban sim yang ada benta ban ya don lang ban ya diman lang kani kadi ka kamyap kam im hak ba ka jusnya ka jong
kawan kenang nak benda kene ka campaign kadai halor ke ngajing sokhia ka junga nak benda une usrok nongpo umdan sonapur ubangi ki pajba jong kathany umdan hang ni laki bun phusnam ni la don kajing angnut bat kajing kwa kajing kalong banyo no usrok uba fresh bat mai namar ba haduk mentah ki babun hi hakajing ya jong kapor ki riu pajba nak kane kathany umdan ki don ki bala tre shanongpo nang ki don ki khna school ki babe man lang kasengi nang ne shanongpo tengila mat shisha bat ngila sakhrai kata kajing jot kajong usrok habangiya man lang kasengi ngi hap ban ya ut ngi hap ban ya nam nak kamta kajing long kajing ban kajong usrok ubangi hap ban ya tang khatsan arpu minute henry namar kajing snu palat kajing ngi hap ban ya hadu shikentai siteng ban ya te kalong ka ba yangi kamtam lei nak kamta kinong syong yau syong hat bat kumjuru kini ki babun hi nakane kathan jungi ki de kinong rap kumno kin penni ya kita ki marap ki jungki haba usurok sneu hadu katne haba wat kita ki nong di ki nong petru ki thait banwan syakane ka jaka ka jungi kadau kalong ka jing sneu palat jong ne usurok te kumta kini ki pajba jungi ki hap ban lej ra ki marap ki mariang ki jungki shanong po bat ha ka jing lej ra ka jungki shanong po bunsen ki mat ya ka jing ki ya kendu ba kimla bandi kita ki marap ki jungki ki hap ban wan pan phai ha ka jaka ka ki hap ban wan pan phai kita ki marap ki jungki kin shu hap ai la ka ai kat ba ki tang ban laj na ka bai kali ka ba maki ki lej ra te ngi hi na kaliang ka jungi ki pajba ka than umdan ka ba khmat ka ba ngisngo ban bu na kaliang ka jong ka sarkar MDA bat kumjuru ka jing rangkat ka jing support lang ka jungi u MLA jungi bu unya kran kadai hi kamen kadai na kabenta uni usrok nongpo umdan
aga porliur ki dadon ka thliu ki pandap kti dade ka porliur ka kti jenjar banyak kijat dade ka portalang pumpum te mentah bang imi kijat sungi ladon ka jong kaliru haj masai kali nomor ba kan ka frok kalong ka jis keju tege ki beron kam kalong ba gimdan kam gini ki jing pantame bandai vet ya ka main jong publik na ko bonta su bonta legi beron kam hi ya ni kwa ban i ya ka kam beron rai da to frok tulin nomor menta le i ba shibun ki products ba kan ka kadong ba ka than umdan ka penmi try ba ngange skam balang ba ka jing bha jong frok nang ni gila ban mi shibun ki marap maryang ki biang mar mata pi ba kum usik ba urnyai bambusa tulan wi biong nang ne ka production ju ka biang ba te ha ka biang ka strok pat kam biang ti ki driver kali ki shulos tang ka ban repair ya bande bushing ban panai spring thmai ban apan bhai kali ju ki bat kane ka ke ba khata ka economy jong kano ko ingasam ka yo kwat ingasam
MP ke Lok Sabha uba Vincent H. Pala ubalong ru President Jong ka Meghalaya Pradesh Congress Committee hakasi hat majai jong tayo ulo ong ba ka jingchmu jong ka BJP ban penlong ya ka One Nation One Election ni ka wei ka election ka dei ban pendo no ya ki sengsan perthai ki berit barya ki bedon hapok kari bat ka BJP kala dep ban penkre nadong sodong bat kala banwan ra kensan hakanu nu ko por
Uba Vincent H. Pala habe kran kinong pathai kubor ulong ba kum bakalong mentak election hapokari kilong ki bakam khoi ndre ke jingkwa jong BJP kalong ban pendu no ya ki sengsan perthai ki berit barya ki bayang bat mi khmat na ka benta ki riulum ki jaka khapot bat ki we ki mat ulong ba ha kapor bulong udukhat jong ne ka committee ki babon ki kwa bagadai banduna ka jing penlut bandon ka one election one nation Henry keseng Kongres kalapun pau ba kamlong kebayahap namar ba kanyu rot ka hok jang ki brio Henry tang keseng BJP hi kabahun ya kani
kani ka move na do mensuat gidon Andre haba page ya ka condition support kari India barok gawai ngatrai ka ba Andre ngasnyo ba lada ka sarkar kale ba ndek kani kala along cibenta kumba yoroi da ka jong ka hok jong kitu ki state ki ba due lono ka de kan one election le ni lono ko por te ban ong hi kari India hi kumba long menta barok ki election ki long ki kam long khoj ha kar kom election te ban jingkwa jong ke BJP kalau ban pendo no ai kini ki parti barit baria jing sisian da wan long da don ka one election one nation kade ha ka jo ka por te ki ki parti ting kin do no te jingkwa jong ke BJP te gari India he bro ko wei namar ki parti barit ki don na ki nong nikmat na ki chong example ki don ki parti na menta ki tribes ki don ki parti ba nikmat na menta ki borders ki don ki parti ba nikmat na kono ban pen ya ka jing jong kitu ki area kadang ni ki jing mentoy jong ki parti barit ro ka jong ki area dari ke BJP ka pa pan pendono ka wa pelong atrai ngi kum ka parti him yang ka kongres kat kum ka jing stu thu jonga ngim do hun rei kani namar kadon ka por bangaru ngade we ni ki member jong kani ka committee hapo mangadon hapo public grievances ba ngi nakaliang ki babon hi ki kwa ba kandon ka banduna ka lut kadi bandon ka one election one nation ngadon hatem ban ringin diri yang parti ong kamlong re namar balai kan long no kaban yoroi ya ka hok jong kitu ki brio te kata na liang jong inga try na liang ka parti ki national spokesperson jong inga try tin sa ai ka statement ndre kumba ka long menchwa ka por ba kan don ha ka committee tem don ra ba yahun po ka congress like tang ka BJP barbar ki ong good economy good politics. But a bad economy is a bad politics. Kajing do kam do jam. Kajing bung yo kam do yo ki kena pulih kena kejuk ke pemerintah. Kabaar ki beruspa ki la ruspa pelat. Ki berduk ki la duk pelat. Tengah try ke way ke ba pen ma ya ki BJP pa penerus ki BJP kimla ban ai kajing sisar ka ba biang. Ki penmi ni kini ki dia nak kata kadau. Tengah try ke ni ro kadai ke way ni ki benta penyihab perkat ba ki suppose nam ka BJP kalau sensyal betik nam ta katu kan ni jai pendriu katu kan ni businessman lade hakino ki benta ka befer try kan ni ka bai ni hab je perkat ba
ha ka bai dai bat ka jingtmu ban penklai ka kerteng na ka India sha ka Bharat UMP sha ka Lok Sabha uba Vincent H Pala ulong ba ka BJP ka don ha ka bor la ka kwa ban penkala kala ban penkala kerteng namar ka de ka hok ka jongka ka bala sha pen ko bor Vincent Shar ka India hendrei hadu ka no anyaki Unang ilam ka kongres ulong manaduk ka por jeng ki pareng amsyam lapen kelai ka kerteng jong kari India bat ki patba ki don ki jing snow lada pen kela no ka kerteng jong kari India. Ulong bakam dan jing mot ban pen kela kerteng. Ka Bharat ka dai tang na ka benta ki katu ki jela ha kari thor bat ka BJP ka kwa ban pelong Bharat bat Hindu lut ya baro bat kala ban mi ka no ka jing ki ka bajur ka ba on ampoi perkhat. Uba Vincent H Pala ulong bakani ka jing tmu jong ka BJP ka dai shibenta jong ka but election. Hendrai kan bo pat ha ka jing ma ya kirat pat
ka jing pengkelapi ka kerteng barbor ka kerteng jong kari India ke manado mencoba bat ka por pareng bat ka por timjuk kelar te ki beri ki don ni ka sentiment span pengkela la da pengkela ka kari India ngatrai ki baboni ki reaction namar ka kerteng hi ka wei ka bala ne ka keleng ka ki kot isla ki na dong pan pengkela kam dei ka pasuk ki software ki babon mdei tang kari India borok ka wei di pelat ki arspa teligeri apa perti ki tu kum ki India ki kot ki sla ki lalik satu teknologi ki bajai ki lalik keleng asal kam don meaning ra ka Bharat ke tang menta kat tu kat ni ki kiri ki Bosnia ba ki dei kam tam ki kabel area le ke India hemde tang ka ki badon hapo ki tu ki benta kadon ke bari sanot kadon bari south kadon west ba kumalong menta ki mut ke Hindi be keleng re lade ha north east le ni ha Tamil Nadu Kerala keleng kimlong comfortable pergi Hindi. Mereka BJP kakwa pelong Hindi lu di baro, kalau pelong Bharat lu di baro, kalau pelong Hindu lu di baro, kamlong le. Kene kawe ni benta pegamuk jangki ban pelong one nation, one election, one religion. Mereka ngatrai kapenjing pekela kerting ru kajohi. Ngatrai kani kan don kajing kalak ban rai kono kajing ki ka bajur ka bangin poi perkat wala. Kata nga ong IP namar bor ki ba support ki BJP ki kabel areas. Kata kamut ki kabel areas kamut ki ong ki UP, Bihar, bat kini ke areas ke badan influence ke Hindi. Terkadang sebentar kadang mentah ke buat election ni, mereka haduk kan no pai ba un biej na mentah ke kerteng un biej na mentah ke buat election ngatrai. Hakani ke election ke banwan ngadang wantur keleng-keleng ngai kamdai ke basuk ke BJP. Ban penyej ban pen nek biang ke tu ke bot pakila yo. Na itu kidon ni kata kadau kile kini ke.
Atau iba ka BJP kalak na man lompat dengan gajitu kelai kerteng ke India ke Barat.
Kadon ka bor laki ko ban kelai kila ban kelai. Kadon ka bor namar ba ka hok ka jongki ka mandit ka ayo ban sencari dari India kila ban kelala da ki kwa andre hadu kan kan yaki 100% gede ka threat iki minority namar ba bale do pin iki an ba ki kumagolong man hakane kila persang kila I hapo Jammu and Kashmir bale kila kuntu namar ki ki minority mentah ki dang mut ki kwa ban le sah Manipur ka Manipur ka joy ka Manipur ka an ka yada ya ki Chedal tribe ka an ka yada ki rit pai ndre ki kwa ban le ki kwa ban belut ki tu rit pai ka an ka yada ya ki religious minority ro ndre ka BJP kamut kane 100% ka de cibenta ka ba openly na menta ka jing panma la ne ban panma ya ka jing ne jong ke minority ha ka urkom bangila ban ne kumagilong menta.
Hagabay bagajing temu banwanra iku uniform civil code uba Vincent H. Pala ulong ba ka BJP kaladap ban penmena hak election manifesto ba hak election ki balalong hak keleng bakan wanra ya ke UCC nri mentah kidang penkrea. Ulong ba gajing penkrea ba gajing pan gajing sngau no pat ba ki babon ki ba ai gajing sngau ki de ki Hindu. Bat kat kum gajing tip jugu ke BJP kaladap ban penkrea na dong syadong bat kinsara kansan kumba ki pendo ek artikel lais pa hanyo pau hajamu bat Kashmir. Ulong ba ka BJP ka kwa tang ya ka jeng pensngau hendrai kamnut ban aya ka draft bill jong ka UCC bat omla bantip kalong kumno hendrai kila pensyong nong rembet ha ka draft ka ba kila le ha ka jela Himachal Pradesh.
Ka uniform civil code ni BJP kila declare hi ha ka manifesto kila declare ha ka election ha ka leng kila declare bakin wanra tementai kidang prepare teh ka jeng prepare jong ki ha ka jeng pan jong ki ka views jong pat ba bobon ni bereaction ka de ni Hindu hi imat kata kila ting kila neros mentah kira nemra rekon citik jonga ki ready na dong hadong la kira kensan kumbeki penduk ya ka artikel 370 apa Jammu and Kashmir bat mentah kin le ya ka one election one nation mentah ki kelai ka kateng kile kat bakimon tekenir pimla ban tip kono kor kila ban le namar bakila ready na dong hadong sedang bakin declare.
Hashwa bini kmi ki kubor ni phasha shipor shikin ki jingpen bana.
Are you having trouble in having baby? Nearly 27.5 million couples in India actively trying to conceive suffer from infertility. Cherish your dream of parenthood with us, Janitva IVF Center. Now we are in your city, Shillong. Our state-of-art assisted reproductive technology and our team of doctors and embryologists will guide you to realize your dream of parenthood. Consult Dr. Arpita Sharma, Chief IVF Consultant, Janitva IVF Center, Guwahati. For further details, please contact www.janitvavf.com or contact Janitva IVF Center, Shillong.
Haba phai biang shiki benta jong ka kubor Ke Executive Committee jong ka Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council kata ka KAAC hapok ke jengelam jong u CEM u Dr. Tuliram Ronghang hakasi pele jong ka tayau kilale ya kendu ya ke Executive Committee jong ka Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council kata ka KHADC hapok ke jengelam jong u CEM u ba penyat sing CEM ban penne ya ka songsuk songsengan hakathan kaput jong ka jela Assam bat Meghalaya.
Wala kalami kejing akan ada apa dengan kejeng Drew Karbi bat ki kasih penar hakatan Blok 1. Halor kejeng kam try ka kendau ke siap. Kinong elam ka Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council KAAC ki kuat menpendek pensa ka syongsuk syongsan yang ketahan kaput bat ka Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council.
Can you tell us your
Kani kalawan hadian ba kinong elam ka KAAC apa kejeng elam u Dr. Tuliram Ronghang kom Chief Executive Member lembat ki khat arngot ki Executive Member kilawan menikendo yau Chief Executive Member ka Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council uba penyat sing CM bat ki Executive Member ka Council benia keran man pendek pensa ya kariti dustur nalor ki weipan hagini kejing kendo ki Arliang ki leyatai banwan ra kejing teli hapdeng ki Autonomous District Council ki badan hagi jela katan stelam ngi ban pensngau syak soka preng ya kejing jeng ki trairi Habaya keren bagi lapatai kubor Chief Executive Member ka KHADC uba penyat sing CM uleto banakaliang UCEM ka KAAC ule penpau bu kloi bane trailang bat ka Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council naga benta banwan ra ka syongsuk syongsan hagi jaka kaput jong uput usam ka Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council
ka jing yadai ka jongi ka KHDC bat ka KAC kan yai beteng da ka jing skut jingmut kumno ban yayo ban trailang nak kabenta ban penek pensa iki riti kita stor ki jongi da ka bangi hab ban yang teli bat ni long kawai hakmat ke sarkar India khamtam kumat shupen kan mau ba ka than chate lami ngi ini ka North Eastern States ngidan kumba shipho teli ki ADCs lightly hajala Meghalaya lightly hajala Assam, lightly hajala Mizoram, bat kawai Tripura. Te menindu ngelai kendu ya produce de Parma, bulong chairman jongga Tripura party hapo Tripura, tiba bat ya ka Borsen Shah hapo Autonomous Council hapo Tripura. Nilai keren bang ide bani long teli ban ya kun namenta kanu kajing let's say ban ya kun lang ringkat kajing ya don lang jong barok ki Autonomous Council apok jela stay lamingi totally kini ki Autonomous Council bangin penklan ya ka nongrim ke jongi ban penek pensa ki riti dustur ki bangi dan ala ki jong ki council kebaar pat mentat ngiyo ruban ya keren hakabede pat kajing long jingman apok kaput border area pedeng ke jela Meghalaya ba Assam kumba phi yi ba ke jela Meghalaya ba Assam kala dan ke jing penbaik bandan no ke ni ke jing penbaik put bat ka benta ke beningkong phase 1 kala dep benta kala ya ke phase 2 but hakani ke phase 2 kila dan ki regional committees na boro arliang ki state government Assam but Meghalaya but HBD pakai regional committees nakaliang jong ka KHDC ruknya dan bentalang kumkit khat te kani ka benta ka baar ka don ka jing penbek put ka bayadai bat kani ka than block 2 bat kiwe chaka te ngi suthu ba kishnong khasi ki babun apok kini ki chaka kidon bat tang masin shimti ya kani ka isi bat maru hadin tang shitayo nilalek benjingo ipai ba jingi shite ka shnong hakini ki jaka block 2 ki don kumba arpulai teliki ki shnong khasi ting la yo ban kendo ikirang ba shnong la yo ni kendo ikini ki nong yelam shnong kiri ramba ki long kme te nakaliang jungi ngilai kran sami mentat ba ngikwa ka jing trelang bat ka Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council ba ki pai ba jungi kinam dei bansha penwet kinam dei bansha pendek hakalik kawan hakatrei kata hakarep karyang bat kiwi benta kakai patek dan nakaliang jong ka Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council ling ba CM la pular ban ai ka jing trelang bat ka Khasi Hills Autonomous Council ban yadai ki brejungi hak tu ki chaka bal banam dei men penbe But ke blok tu ke hab babun let's say haka ke area ke ba nia dan cinga penbaik lang bat ni ke HDC. Te ke blok 1 part kala hab syaka Jaintia Hills district. Te kala hab haka jurisdiction jongka Jaintia Hills district council. Te wat lah kat taru namar bakidai ki parado persenam ki jongi ngila pensau hiru ba kitu ki jingja men hakani ki bom internet ki bom sultanat bat nakaliang jongka kabi anglong termas council ru kila smokia kata kin simkia baru kin yo bani trelang bat ni nam ta kasuk kasai ka baha kamya jong kitu shinam haki ki jaka te nakaliang jong ki dang wat ke ika lat kalenti ban la ban penbek tu ka jingja te kat kum gajing suthu hadin mangilai kran mene nakaliam karbi anglong ki kloi ben yetrela ban wengi kini gajing en but menenru ngala yo ban kran lang bat MP Mr. Horen Singh B hang te po guest house jongka karbi anglong termas council te ha menen kasngi yo ban ai ka join press briefing ru ba nakaliam UMP ru but EM education menen ki ong ba kamdan ka ba ban kabangin wengi kecing ka kamdan ka bamla si ban wengi kecing te ladangi ya trailang da kecing stu cimo te ngi sutana ni pediang ni kata ka kecing keren but kermen scam bakani kecing ya dei juni kanang biang kanang bit nang nishmat but kumjur ngi sutu ban penbet ya kanu no kakam ngin la be ban penbet da kalenti ke ba da kalenti jong kecing keren da kata ke process of discussion dialogue bat kiwe kilenti kamnum dan jing artatian ni da seba ngin la ban poi sha thong jing job habe de kini ki benta de nakaliang juniru ngin salik pek biang ye ki pai ba juni hapo khaput bat kumju ru ngin salik biang banyak keren sani bahai ni kakam wat shadu sha karbi anglong autonomous council shadiku ngi dan rikat pada regional committees dan namar ban penbet yo put kumbalong menta baru artli ki jela ki burambe ya kataka process of dialogue referendum ne ki paiba te kemut ada kitu ki paiba ha tu ki shnong ki yang menjur banwan semeghalia kata di kawai kalenti bangin yo biang ban penbet yo put kat kum kan ni gajinya penbet ya keren put
Natrai ka ba ai bangin kira mentang kolong ban sutu so bakandon ka draft constitution jong ka fokus kenang ba kumbang mene bakanum doko kajing trikam mal kumbalong bersekata ngila sujit nang te chairman nang te secretary kamdon kariti trikam ko basai tingat rai ba first step jungi mentang kolong ba ngambong bagala kut no ka fokus ka 4 kut nabaklangi penlong last time apo panyut hotel dia ngila entros lu aji sai kat tukat niki nongelam baginang penkre ya ka rukom trikam juga fokus kata ka di bahasa ateng tengah sangi nang pendap ini kam bahasa dan ingin continue bangis kam badin bang layo ban pendap di trikam ka bahasa jong fokus kanum duko isu namar bangin ha ban ya sekmat kat kum ka di trikam
Namar gajing peniat bian jong ka Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council kata ka HADC ya ka kerdap krong khajana ha ka surok ba National Highway Nriu ka badan ha dihar ha ka sihat majai jong ta yo ki bor peniat district jong ka ribhoi kilalet ban khang kerdap no ya ka ni ka kerdap krong khajana namar bala supen yang bian
Kibor peniat distrik Jonggari Bhoi lengbau executive magistrate kilalit ban khang talano ekwe ke kerdop krong khajana bala peniang da kibor jong ka Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council ha kesurok ba National Highway Bahnriau hak shnong dihar la ban kedau ba kene ke kerdop krong khajana jong ka HDC la kano ba kedai ka bala peniang bean ban lum khajana ki kali kitmar baper khamtam ki kali banya da gibreu gibam da gitrajela La yo jing tibru badangshan ka kenhon jong itrai kali banongnya akali kilepen pa wajing sokya ke bajur halor ke jingmi kerdap rong khajana bam itu ithaw hasilenter ka surok ba National Highway kablak ta shkade e kayo ka kod jongki bahlor kani kilalet ru ban bo de jing ujor ki bor badai pet jong ka HDC ban chimkya halor kani ke jingmi jongki kerdap rong khajana tang maria yo jing ujor ha ka khat artarik unai lor ar hajar ar pulai ki bor peniat jong ka distrik Ribhoi Hadian bu Deputy Commissioner ulah pemik ke hukum man khang kerdap no ekni ke kerdap krong khajna nagaliang majistor rengkat bat kibor pulit ke distrik ilalit ban khang no ya kene ke kerdap ke badan hukum dihar.
Deputy Commissioner joka Rihoy District take order ke dalam ni abatai ba yakini ka check gate jong kanika PHDC ngap ya hak kita semua kita ramai haka shiti ke bagi pas ni kalau kelum lang hendai shujor kelum lang hendai kelum dan pat kajing pensisya kinu kiba le baklan hendai tang katu kat ni kiba kilap penpau nak kalian pergi but ya kita kiba penpau nak kalian pergi gila ban syukos
kini kiba install illegal kini cekit kai kiba sencang kiba hi kumsiam kene namari kenok yang kilami kita maka dia cing exploit dia gi nong nang wan ki committers kini kita
kam dei benong ba mi committee lane kabun kani kam dei tang khapor jungi mentah kebelak don lupa te takada ma omba kani ke isi kanang mentah kanang hak benshim ya ki sinjam ke ki benang kam penjana shu berkom rekam bat ngiru nginem ya palat ya ka an lada ngiya palat ya ka an kalau long bi an dan mengi batau an dan nomor takada nak kalian tuli ke ka badon ya ka provision kat kum ka schedule ngile kat kum kata henry let's see your don ka no ka jing duna hang ni hantai ye kita ngila baik ngila bendam
district ban khang yang di dok khong khajna jo konsel hagi banta jo umdihar nen kai bok dan mo
hakini shua berkandon gani ka jingkhang nak kalian ka board district jongkari boy yegi toll gates kiba de jong HDC nak kalian jungi menship tayo la jan sansngi yegi tu ki toll gate kiba la de banwan I complain daki seng jong kinonya trok bakadan ka jingle thurmur naki nonglum hakabini bakata ngala syukos ya kitu ki toll gate mentala jan sitayo tengi iPod news ngi bakin jubab de ngan page mentas ngi ila jubab nam nama keempat kod sikat kod lasan le sisngi ka syukos de lada kim jubab yiki no kiba ya palat ya ke ikabala bathat na ka council tengi bansi ban hapan khang wat na kalian jungi
bu piong nan hab syukos kamut kini gi kini gi baklam set up the council
kai kidei jong ki council lala ke jong ki department kat kum ke provision jong ka 6 schedule henry nomor babun kidei kiba la list out syaki private parties kadon kawe ka high court order kabala penkesan ya ka council bangin la ban bo yaki lasi yaki private parties te henry teng let's say nakan santali ar lightly don kiba kitu ki agent ki le thurmur berkom penbai kini ki kam habai dip kini kali kiba one room ko me khlian ne kiba mi kumta kiba kit mata de yakum kini ki tolls hakino no ki jaka ki bala identify kat kum ka complaint ngila phai ka shukos ye kini ki lasi but la dadep ban jubab ni bede kanu shukos nakal yang ke isi kan sa shim karai ke bede bende la deba la deba ngilap shisha bagi le palat ke ko bapha ka council ngimban se ban hap shim na karai khap shwai kini
nakal yang jong sarkar dang sen dang kini kniat banai la de mi te ko hukum ba sa ban bu ya kinuk ki check gate bi an la de jong district council ne jong department ha sitil ter jong haye
tol jong council kimde ki badang shu sedang menta ding tayo atuyo shi banai kini tak de ki post nem
ndri kala pa khang no e gitu ni
ndri nakal yang ka high level committee ke belak kli ya kini committee do chief minister la betha ya ka DCA department bandan ke ya penbaik baka this council de kakum ki provision jom ka schedule ke bala ibor hani ngila banbo ini tolls henry kadi bandan pat ki jaka ki bangila banbo let's say yo kidai ki jaka ki bakim ki ban pentut ya kali kawan ka traffic ya ki way kum kita ki jaka msha te but kumjuru kat kum ka working plan kiba ngila don kiba dap submit ke government ngila submit tak kiba kini kiba ibiang ka cakap kiba don ka lebay si kiba don kam check kum man shuan sai ka trading by non tribal regulation act kiba pun ha ki kali kiba nabar jela kiba dei jong kibar jela kiwan khai shane klem kot klem sla de kumye kini manu banditek namar ba ki dei be ki kali kimdan office support social kimdan office support negara dan namar takatau dah kebadan kini ki checkpoint ngila ban detect ngila ban wat benia kini kile you ki khai you but ke ega jingdu nong ju ki bre ni dan yakum kani nibu yakini ki tolls on trade by non tribal kenang ban nem pensilur banam pensilur yang ki bar jela ban wan khai kat paman chakani ka ri ju
Pembakalong mentah kat nuteliki check gate baka KHDC kadang
nganam la on batai hang ni marma nama gidan lalaki jong department let's sing sa ai da official press statement habis ini bagi ki sinjam ke penginship nang ni shikmat nam ta ban kham penjanai nam ta ban kham pen bahasa syukur kontrak kam jong ka isi batmai ta
Chief Executive Member jong ka KHADC uba penya sing CM ha ka si tho ding jong ka yo ulayalam ya ka kunhun jong ka council ban penlong ya ka jing khanra ha tham ri bhoi hadien ba la yo e ka jing ujor ba bon ki barjala kilale e ki kam khayi pateng khlam da yo ya ka trading license na ka KHADC
Kibor ke Executive Committee jongka KHADC belalam kemat Chief Executive Member uba peniat sing siem lembak kekenhuan kilala ihyara hidalade ban khang kerdap ya jan sepatli gidukan kiberan hagatan bernihat ter syedok kanapara ya kibala peniat di kibrio kibam de kitrai jela kentup ya kisah pun rutli gidukan di jingde kibala dep ban air ke notice bagi di ban penbiang ya ke trading license ndai kim shimlala asatya wat hadian belada ban air por da Executive Committee jongka KHADC ha kani ke jing hiar kensan jong ka kenhuan ka KHADC laidon langru da executive member bakentup uba Victor Rani uba Alvin Saukme lembat ke jing senran lang kinong ilam jong ke HNYF bat KSU nak district Ribhoi lembat ke officer ketenar enforcement ke district council la aban kedau hang ni baki bor ka KHADC nak ketenar enforcement haki benaik belalej kilahir ban kanrai ke jing penon kami ke trading license te gibe gi bamdai ki trai jela ki babu dukan boper ha ka than khap puat bara kani ke jing kanra lalap baki saupun rut ligi dukan ki baran ha than bernihat kem dan setia ya ki trading license ba la batha ki trai dukan ban penbiang no bre hadu menta kem shimlala ai ha ke jing hiar ka kenhuan ka KHADC ban kanrai ki trading license lalap syu ki we pagi dukan bala penyat te ki bre ki bamdai ki trai jela bat baki mendon ki trading license bagi play ki dukan jongki ha bakran ki nong thok kubor uba penyat sing siem ulaong baka KHADC hadien ke jing asngoi ki jing ujor halor ka jing bun ki bre ki bamdai ki trai jela gon le ki kam boper klem da perwa ila ki dei ne eman biang ni kot kisla kumta hadien bekilio kini ki jing ujor klalet ban hiar hino dalade ule tho ba ka jat penreu khasi kala syahir thma ha kaliang ka khayi pateng ha gi jat penreu ki bamdai ki khasi kumta na kaliang ke executive committee kan aiman sim shikadai e ya ki samla khasi beken la ban sengkam lajong bat ban yang halaki jong ki jat kam tam ha ki shnong ki baram di than khap puat khanang ban la ban rat deng khong no ikini ki breu ki banabar bagin wan ban besu kle bat ban le ki kam khayi pateng Nagaliang ka KHADC kan sebeteng ya kum kini gijing kenra ban pendu ajat ki breu ki bawan nasabar ban le ki kam khai pateng kham da penbiang ya ki kot kisla
पता नहीं हम नया है कहाँ पर जाना जो करने
तू काम करता लेबर
हमको नहीं पता हम नया है
तेरा लेबर लाइसेंस है कि नहीं तेरा लिए काम करने वाला के लिए
क्या पता बनाया होगा
क्या पता आपका
halor ki saupun riu teli ki dukan ki bala Trekam bian klem kikot kisla jongka council katkum ka United Khasi Gentiles Trading by Non-Tribal Regulation Act. But kini kisau pun riu teli ki dukan ki bala long try de ki bomde ki khasi kila penyat yakini ke dukan tala bunsnem. But nakaliang ke council kalalap yakini dang kendiat benai menta dang arbenai. But ngila shim yaki kerteng ki jongki. But katkum ki kendon an la aibor ingi ngila pha yaki notice yaki. Ban wan mi syak council on la pha ka baningkong la aipor ki klem wan mi ka ba aru la aipor ki klem wan mi. But de halor kata ka bangi la pha ek closure notice ru mentasni daladi ilawan ban khang no ya baro kini ki sapun ru teli ki dukan apa bernihat ki baken thup nadu khalai mer khat saw khat san mer. But ngaso ban penpau ru kajing ai khublei ka bakerpang nakaliang ka executive committee yaki samla ke jungi ki batang shutip baka executive committee kan wan here ban khenra trading license shekini ki border area nakaliang juki kilawan simran lang dang step mene ka baken thup ya ka Khasi Students Union jongka northern region napo i president jongka bernihat unit iba wan prang mauto but iba John Lingdo ibalong president jongka nongpo unit nangta nongpo circle nangta nakamenta iba Marcus Martin ibalong president jongka northern region HNYF but kumju naka central body HNYF ba bless but iba Steve Kriam kini ba ringkat be kidkhot jongka Khasi Students Union but kidkhot jongka HNYF ilawan ban semran lem yangi ban ya trailang bat ngi na menta ban pendap ini ka kam menta sngi bat hakani ga jingwan ga jungi menta sngi kalong ru ka jing mentoi yangi ban tip bat ban yu dala ki jong ki khmat bakidang don ru sa kiwe ki jai penrio ki bamde ki Khasi ki ba wan khayi shani ka ri ga jongi klem ki kot isla ki babiang bat nadu nang tena po bernihat jorobat adu ni khana para ngilap bun spa teli ki dukan klem ki kot kisla te bat ngilap tha ya ki officers badipai ya kani ga jaka bakin I notice lut ya baro khoi bakin hap ban penbiang ki kot sla tang hapo hitayong bat hadu menta ngilap pha khang shoi kini dukan kat bakin patla penbiang ki kot isla
kalian ka border committee jongi nga ai kublai si bon hajar ngo yapi kane kade ka sin ka beningkong yangi bangin lap ye CM ba iwan iparkhat yangi ba sah kane ka border bon ka jing ngilap kamlong re tangka ktien nang ne sakmat iwan amin sim yangi ngiru ngin kersan lang ye bangin yai sakmat bat khamtam yekinde ki philai tv ba ila batai ki kam ki ba bon mo ki biru na sabaru ki wan te sapang kane ka trade license ro te inda nganget ba hadin nang ne kabala dep ka ba sakmat nang ne kan yai bet kat ka rukom ka jing pinjat jong ka ri ke dustur jongi ki Khasi khamtam ngi hangne ngi duna bha iwan I mean sim ublein dong kat ba pisar na ay pi ka met ka bakod ba kya kumba pikular ka kam kan long kum tahi nginong pindep retang da ka ktien ay kani ka jing kular bon ngi ju sem min swa ki suwan ong gina ja ay ki wan shani tang matang haka ktien ki pindo ka jing pindo ya ka surat hangte ka Nepali school ro minta pekate to ka building kilate ka tur ngilaya le bon kilaya wan ngilaya ki kam poisa ay seiro kila khang ya ka to ka lenti pe minta ka lenti kilang ni habya na sete ngi hap pun na sete miso ka lenti nang ne ka don bangin ro haka dengan Nepali school bangin ya be haka ri jongi hame galai jongi mera kim ju sha yangi minta hak do bor ECM EDC bon kibiro kilawan tangkap to kilakot kilapin sange tangkap to te minta ngi kimi lenti sisa pindon kat ngirungi sngo men ngi yomen sim bapiwan ai yangi mo te hak shakrado ngindor rangkat bapi bangin ya trilang rangkat bati seng baro ba iwan hangne bapi awan sanran yangi ngai kublai si bon ya piasia baro
Menteri rang ba ka Meghalaya u Conrad ke sangma hagasi hat majai jogota yo ulong ba ka kentien India bat Bharat kadai ka baladon hagariti sencar jong kari hakaba ya ka kentien India la pendan kam habakren da ka phareng hanrei Bharat da ka Hindi bat kam don kanu ke jeruat
Habai keren bagi nong pathai kubor Menteri Rang Ba Kejelam Meghalaya Konrad Kongkal Sangma ulong bahak artikel beningkong jong keriti sensyari. Lakadau syai bakari India kadai ruk ke Bharat. Bat usngau sarong ban penon kamlang ya ki kerteng India bat Bharat. Ulong haba Ukraine ke Hindi an penon kam ke kentian Bharat. Nrai haba Ukraine ke Pareng penon kam ke kentian India. Bat kadai ke balakadau syai ke riti sensyari bat kam don jerwit jerwat. Nrai lepen mihi yakini ke IKA haba kam syumnadan kanu ke jerwit jerwat. Ulong baki nong tau ke riti sensyari bat kinong tokot bat kinong alam san pertai kilarai bagadai bandai Bharat bat India. Bat kai ke baki lek mata kalong baki buat ke riti sensyari bat omsngo bagadan ke jing bakla ha ke penon kam ya ke kentian lakadai India ne Bharat. Ha ke bedai bat ke one India one election ru Menteri Rang Ba ulong bakalong ke bae ban keren AA ya kania nomor 4 ya i ke jing tho jong ke draft bill bat kwa ban keren AA tang da ke jing mundur. Habakali la ke sarkar ka thumu banwan ra da resolution ban persya ajur ke jing thumu ke sarkar pedang ban penteri kam ya ke Uniform Civil Code UCC ha ke jela. Menteri Rang Ba ulong bakalong ke bae ban ong AA ya kania nomor hadu menta 4 ke draft bill jong ke UCC bat amla ban keren AA da ke basumudur. Ndai ke datang ke jing pan jing mut jong ke National Law Commission nagi patba. Ukonrat Kongkal Sangma ulong balada ke UCC ke kedau benang ne syakmat ke India kedai ban shimjat ne ke kentai balada shimjat shisha ne ke kentai ke Jelam Meghalaya tharai kandai ke beningkong ke ban pediang ya ke UCC. Kumta kamlong ban syukran AA de ke basumudur. Ulong ru ba ke UCC kam dai AA ke ban yo bat ban syuyat suk kari kum ke India namar ke dan bon gizat ben riau bat kan long ke bae.
Or I'm in a platform anywhere, I say, it's going to be for us, our nation is India and we work with India. I'm very clear on that. अगर आप मुझसे पूछेंगे कि आप क्या करना चाहते हैं और देश का क्या हो रहा है, मैं बोलूँगा हमारा देश भारत, तो मैं हिंदी जब बोलूँगा तो मैं भारत बोलूँगा और जब मैं इंग्लिश में बात करूँगा मैं इंडिया बोलूँगा. So I think there's no, and the constitution is very clear. It says India, which is Bharat. I think there's no controversy. I think we're creating a controversy where there's no controversy. So let it be. We've been working in this manner. See, this issue, if you ask me, in 1947 or 1950 when the constitution came out, at that point in time, that decision was critical. If that time the constitution makers and writers and the then political leaders had decided that it should be Bharat, then that's how it should be. But when the constitution at that point said that India, Bharat, right now what we're doing is we're following the constitution. And I have been many speeches of mine, whenever I speak anywhere in Hindi, I have used Bharat all the time because that's what India is. And wherever I've spoken anywhere in many platforms, I've used India because wherever so depending on the situation, we use it. I don't feel that it's a controversy as such. It is a question of using the language and wherever, and I don't think there's anything wrong in using the word either India or Bharat. I think it's all depends on the situation you're in. The constitution mandates us to use either of the words, and India and Bharat, and I'm proud of both that words.
Menteri Rang Ba ka jela Konrad ke Sangma ha kasi hat majai jogote yo ulong baki college ki bela penyeso bat ke school bat North Eastern Hill University kata ka nihu kin sesyak takjur lada kimla ban penteri kam ya ka National Education Policy arajar arpo bat kani kan kta hadien ba ki lej ban penthamai biang ya ka jinyeso ka jongki.
Habaya keren bagi nong patai kubor Menteri Rang Ba Gejala ulong ba gejinge so ki college bat ka Central University kan sa Shakta bat kane kan amja mentah nrei harian saun san senam haba kilaj ban penthamai gejinge so ha ka ba kane ka kendon bat gejing keli kan sami ulong ba ka Meghalaya kan jam bet chakmat ban pentrai kam ya ka NEP bat kan omdon gejing phaidien bat ula kentu ginohikai bat ki college bakin wan chakmat ban ekran lor gejing bagi kendo bat ka sarkar jela bat kidon kat to kan ni gejing bamis thu jing mun nrei on haban pensyai kini u Konrad Kongkal Sangma u Laong ru ba ka sarkar ka kloy banekran bat ka Meghalaya College Teachers Association bat ban le AA halo ka jing sokhya jongki bat ka sarkar kalong ka bakloy ban ai kinu gijing pensyai ule thop ule ekran bat ki principal jongki college bat bon ki lepen pau bagi kwa ban peniat chakmat ya ka jing pentrai kam ya ka NEP bat ka sarkar ru kalau kular ban kener lem ka jing yarap ka ba ki don kam nrei ule thop ba kam dan satya kano ka jing ai song pisa na ka sarkar pedeng ha ka baidei ba ka jing pentrai kam ya ka NEP ar hajar arpo.
So we are talking to everybody. I have spoken to many of the colleges and many of the principals, and almost every principal I have spoken to, and almost every college I've spoken to, they all understand that NEP is good for the state and good for the students, and it is the right way to move forward. The challenge is in actually implementing it immediately. Now, please understand that what does it mean? NEP requires multidisciplinary subjects to be there. Now, say there is a commerce college. Now, commerce college should also have science, should also have arts. Now, is it a great concept? It is a great concept, obviously, and they would be happy to do it. Now, that decision should be taken, and we should go ahead with it. I'm giving an example only. Now, what the colleges are saying is that, well, if you have to start that, then the 3 years courses now have to be completed made into 4 years course. And we have to start a science wing. Who's going to give us the money to start the science wing? Who's going to pay for the salaries of the college teachers? Who's going to pay for the building to be constructed? So the concerns are the implementation of this will require huge financial challenges. And hence, how do we move forward? So these are one of the issues. I'm not saying this is everything, but this is one of the issues. Other issues are they're saying that, well, how does the 4-year course become into a 3 years course become into 4 years? Because now the course will have to be redefined in year 1. And, you'll have to have different mechanisms for semester-wise programs. And so now if we change semester 1, then we have to say change semester 2, 3, 4. So the colleges have to adapt to a new system. So change is always something that is not very comfortable for anybody. It's not just the colleges, even for us. We all would go through the same process. So what I'm saying in a nutshell is that there is no, let's be very clear on this. There is nobody who's against the NEP. Majority of the teachers and the students and the principals are all for the NEP to be implemented. Issue only is in the different requirements to implement it and the process of implementing, which is very, very technically complicated and financially complicated, and hence how will they do it immediately? So it's a process. I think once the discussion takes place between the university and the government and the colleges, that we will allow a smooth way, and we'll keep supporting in whatever way possible there is there. I think an understanding will develop. I don't see things so complicated. I don't personally see, as I said, in the decision. But yes, it's complicated in terms of the requirements that are there. And we will discuss and we'll see how to implement it. But the question, as correctly said by the VC, that we cannot go back on that decision. The whole country is moving forward with this. We need to go ahead with this. And the colleges also know that they need to go ahead with this. They are also on board saying that it is good, but challenges are there. And so just let us work together to overcome this challenge.
Menteri rang ba kejelah ka wikaliang ula pentip ba sorkar jelah kelekran bat ke sorkar pedeng ban penjunsur ke kendon babu sispa hektar ke jaka badan kam hagaman ai prospecting license bat mining lease banti doyong badan hapok kejelah. Ulong hadian ke jengkerpat jengki babun ki kenhun nong ti doyong badai ban penjunsur kum tale kran ikan kam bat ke sorkar pedeng henrei kampat poi sya uput ban shemekarai tang ba ke jengekran kalayat ke lenti ke badai. Ulong bagar kombat kendo ha kejela ke per namar hakibe pat kejela ke sorkar ke deketrai jong ke Jakarta. Ke sorkar ke long trai ki par bat ke aiwai ki shimet. Ndrai ha Meghalaya ki shimet ki long trai ki Jaka. Bat ke sorkar ke Shillong tang ke agensi ban sya aiwai yaki syakiwai pat ki brio baginti umar po kendo. Ula penpau ya ke jengkermen. Ba ya kena kam ti doyong ha kejaka ga basis 4 hektar ansala ban penbet no bat ula pentep baga mining plan ban yu sedang ya jing ti doyong da jing start science kladon ha benta bakat do baga sarkar pedengkan ai ya jing menjur.
So let's understand where this 100 hectares came from. We were working, fighting against in the Supreme Court, against NGT, then discussing with Government of India in all these matters, because for us we wanted the process to start. That's what's important to us. And when the discussions took place, there are different factors that were put in that area, technology, this, that, and all these things. So while those negotiations were going on, the area issue came up, and Government of India was very particular that that number should not go down. And so we felt that in the larger interest of at least setting the ball rolling and starting the whole thing of mining happening, let us not stick too much to this 100 hectares issue as of now. Let it start. And once things start, Then in the next stage, we can come and discuss for the reduction of the area, because Government of India was not at that point in time comfortable at reducing their thing. We said, okay, fine, let's at least start with 100 hectares, and then later on, if necessary, we will try to work to reduce it. So it was with that logic, in order to, in the interest of making sure the mining started, we went ahead with that proposal. And I'm happy that it has worked, and we are now at the final stage of getting the mining plan approved, and the mining will start. Now, coming to the areas which are lesser, so based on the different miners and organizations appealing that they should be reduced, we have taken up the matter with Government of India already. So the process is already on. We have not got or reached to a conclusion yet, but it is going in the right direction. That's all I can say. It's going in the right direction. So a lot of talks, a lot of discussions are involved. Please remember that Meghalaya's case is very unique. Why did we have so much of concerns or difficulties in reaching to a conclusion in Meghalaya? Was because our land holdings are different out here. So in other areas, the government owns the land, the government owns the mines, and then they lease it out to a private party. Here, the private party owns the land, and now the government is acting as an agency to lease it out again to another individual to then mine it. So government has to now change the rules based on Meghalaya's land holding system out here, and that is where the complications came up. So the rules that are there for the rest of the country will not fully apply to Meghalaya because of the land holding procedures. As I said, in other places, the mines are owned by Government of India, and Government of India leases it out. Here, the land is owned by you. And then now, how do we come into the picture to regulate that and come into the system and bring in a new mechanism for Meghalaya? And that's what complicated the matter. But we are now in a stage where we have now overcome that. And that is what took a lot of time. But as I said, all the hard work put in has given us a positive result. And I hope that even this 100-hectare issue.
Kanyutrap Achik National Movement, kataka HANM, Western Ribhoy, Hagasi Sajan Jogata Yo, Kabaladem, Kalapanlong Ya Kajinglit Jurip, Ya Kajingte, Kasorkar Assam, Hakashnong Baklapara, Batlap, Yaki Kambutu, Jongka Assam, Kabalashana, Yakasurok, Ban Yok Kam Trai, Yakajaka. Wat Haba Kajingi Kren Penbet, you put Usam, Bat Kajala Meghalaya Kadang Yach Kaman.
Wat lagi artili gejala jongga Meghalaya bat Assam kidang penkrea ya kejing keren penbet puat sahaga wat kebaar nriki kam jongga Assam kilanang yai beteng daga bepersang ban penbiet gipat ba da kejing wan ra ek surok haga shnong bakla para haga himanong spong jongri boy sepni Hadin balayo agini ko kubor halor kejing persang ban kentur puat daga batay ya kesurok haga kendai Tarik unai luar hajar arpulai kinong elam kah Nyutrap Achik National Movement HANM Western Ribhoy lambat kinong elam karaj warmau saw bat raj sobar kilalit banjurep ikani kejing tay ikani kesurok daga Assam haga shnong bakla para Hakane ke jing jurep dak HANM dalam kemadu presiden usumar lengdo lemba kidkot aka jingi don rengkat kinong elam karaj warmau saw bat sobar kibakentup yau ba slen lengdo sordar kesnong sobar uba pingston pator bat uba itlas lengdo lembat kiwi-kiwi Habakran negani gesni usumar lengdo ulepen pau kejing sokya kabajur halor kabut sianti bat kejing bamburam ke Sorkar Assam lengba ketnat PWD ya kejing ikut dapdeng ki artli ki Sorkar Jela ban pensangi aswa ya kejing pentre ya kinu ki kampenroy ya kisnong kaput kat ba parla ban pendep ya kejing keren penbet put Ule thuru banakaliang kaseng bat kibor jong ki arraj kilapen pau kejing sngulengok ke bakrau ba kumno ke Sorkar Assam garang not ban kentur put ke bawan ra ki kampenroy Klem dayo ekanu kuno kejing bit ne kejing pentip lang sigibor ke Sorkar Meghalaya. Kumta halor kane ke HANM rengkat bar ki artli kiraj keladawan ke Sorkar Meghalaya bakadi macim kia mardor bantuklar halor kane kajingwan kenturput da ke Jela Assam.
Tekat kum jitip jinga ngalong sular long sobar. Pada doon dahin tagitip jingi kane ka habapo ka Meghalaya. Ka ba habapo put usam jong jing sinchar jong sim jong hemanong stong sim. Markata habaga don hapok jemban baik jemput usam balik ke Sorkar Assam biar ti saji skim ke jempi markata ngikwa ba apil ini kam lausim lang baca ka Sorkar jang Meghalaya ba ke de malek kam kloy nang ne ka banta kram ngelo ya jing sai mar balik akene ke banta ngidon hapteng jing umdum ban le kene ingim la naliang kumungau sudah celong ro ba pik ba kemi ba ngadon os ndak jang ke bordar yang kene ka Assam Meghalaya yang kwa ban apil yang kene ka kam ya ka sang kam tam ya pi ka usim mat kumjur ya pi ka sarkar Meghalaya ban pele kloi ban penbet no kloi ya ka lokong bala kam ngi ya ke sop chung sai kat kum ke jing tiep ke jonga ka he kene kene hapo ka hima ke jing sanchat musim nong spung ba ka hapo to Meghalaya
ha ka baningkong kajingwan kajungi hang ni hakajaka kabahap hapo ka hima nong spung ba klapara kajing ya donrang berkinong ilam raj berkinong ilam cunong kumta derter teh abangi lawan hang ni haspon ngilap nakaliang kaseng bat nakaliang garaj kajing penpre chat jong ka Assam ya gini di Surok ha kini ki border area kaba penlengo susu yang ni kum kaseng haba ngikren ya kajing sya bat ngilap ya kajing sya hagani ga banta kum gaseng ngisnu ban penpau syaga sarkar bat sya kipik ba nong singstong kipik kajungi ki bedon hapo border area balik ke sarkar Assam kawan kapcor hapo ki jaka Meghalaya haba kadang don hamenta hapo pedeng kajing ya penbit sam kabadang don hapo pedeng ka phase 2 gila benong balik ke Assam kawan kapcor lang bagi ki kampenroy lang bagi kiskim penroy ki wante ki border aja dan nakaliang seng iso ban penpau ba ka sarkar he kadai ban jubab syagi pejba khnang ba ci ba kintip ya jing sya hato kandai ka Meghalaya ne hato kandai ka Assam kani ka jaka ka badon hang ne
to nakaliang jongi karaj ki bape ki bakmi ya kane ka jaka baru sikata na dugi por ki babon suwa kau kau jing tip aja soto jongi, bahkan kita jaka barok kau kadeh he, jong kami Meghalaya ke bahawa apa kahima, jong sim nong spong. Si nak kalian jongi karai roi kersan ba, ya kan kita jaka, nino kuah ba kan poi, bahkan hapa ada jaka Assam. Market kau jing tip aja soto jongi, bahkan de kajaka ke bahap apa, jong kami Meghalaya, bar ke bahap apa, sim nong spong. Bat apa kajing jong karai war musabar
kaseng san perthai jo kari ka National People's Party kata ka NPP hakasi balang jo kata yo kala pediang buram yo MLA barem jo ka Mausen Ram uba Himalaya Moktan Sangpliang ubalong ru unong yalam barem jo ka BJP ubalawan ban penia so no bat ka NPP ha ka jingelang ka balalong ha ka office kam jo ka NPP haluwa lachumia
ya uba Himalaya Moktan Sangpliang ubalawan rungno syakaseng NPP napediang du National President ke NPP Konrad Kongkal Sangma rengkat ke jingadan lang Menteri Rang Ba Abrem Gejela Dr. Didi Lapang State President ke NPP Dr. WR Kharluki kinong elam ke NPP ki bagentup uba Preston Tunsong uba senyaw balang dhar Dr. Amperin Lengdo berkibai Dr. Didi Lapang abagran kejingelang uloong bagi NPP kalakia watla kalamat kejing bagi jing tenjo kibadan hakani kari hendrai de kejing dan kinong elam betebet kejela kalaya caprang bat kelanang kio Konrad Kongkal Sangma lapen pau ya kejing kemen bau ba Himalaya Moktan Sangpliang lawan peniasok syakaseng NPP namar budan kejing long kum unong elam bali i kani hakayang dorbar hakabau lawan ra bat pensngawi kejing jengipat ba bat lengba kejing peniasok jong uba HM Sangpliang kanang penklannya keseng NPP uba HM Sangpliang uloong bagajing peniasok jong usik NPP kedai namar bui kimat kiblasyim dengan ke sarkar hapok kejing alam jong Konrad Kongkal Sangma kabalong na kebenta kabha kamiat jong patba kejela bat ula pentip bekladan lai hajar ngot kidkot kibala mi'no na keseng BJP bat kibala peniasok
and to serve the people of the state to the best of my ability. Once again, I'd like to thank the National President, Sri Konrad Sangma, for giving me this honor today. I also thank Sir Preston and Sir Siobhalang for the encouragement and support that they kept giving me over the days so as to enable me to join the party here today. I also thank the State President, Dr. W.R. Kharluki, for his kind consent to induct me into the party. My special thanks goes to a very special person in my life, and that is Dr. Didi Lapang. I see Meghalaya emerging as one of the leading states in the country. Under the dynamic leadership of Sri Conrad Sangma, the Honorable Chief Minister of Meghalaya, and duly supported by Sri Preston Tinsong and Sri Shobhalandhar, both Deputy Chief Ministers. And I am very impressed with the emphasis given by the party for the development of the state.
And there was a time we tend to forget the reality of those things which have been there with hundreds of years with our old forefathers and all. Now this will try to pick up anything. And another one is that this party try to concentrate more in the Northeast. Now the name of the Northeast resident has come to limelight, this way or that way, and now this is the first time in the history that the ministers of the central government has gone down to the grassroots level, been to the small village and all, just acquainting themselves with the thinking of to act big and then talk of the international, globally and all, which before we used to concentrate a small pool like that. That's why there is change for challenges to take place. This is what it is.
So don't you think that the law and order problems are occurring here?
Overall saying that that's not much the law and order. According to the last history that is there, lot of killing, tribal massacring and all, those things are better now. Now we disappear and they try to see that the law and order is within the ambit of the law, not to be on the front of the law. For other issues, there are the understanding of both sides of the government is the main criteria. And at the same time, you see, the Assam has been the main body which is carved out this Meghalaya. We appeal the Assam to have a bigger support that they will not say that they have given Meghalaya. Why not give all other independence law to do like traditional and their way of life, their like that and all. So, but they approach when the border issues, they have to put their heads and heart together to see how far they solve the problem. Let's see, they have just started the thing, and we have yet to see how far they can really make it a realistic and modified.
Dak jungsmu benele ban penlong ya kayu du ko bakhuan. Hakasi balang jogata yo u chief executive member kata u CEM joka KHDC uba penya sing CEM ula IT ya ka trop kit nyut sakai mameliem. Ha ka jingelang ka bala penlong habasa sok sao.
Ha kini kejing pelat bagajing IT ki kali kit nyut le don lang u executive member bakmi ikatanat health and sanitation ka KHDC uba Victor Rani u CEM ka himameliem upa EM Ainam manik CEM kinong shong yo bat kibai. Kani ketrok kit nyut kabal IT syike himameliem kadi kabal penyo na Chief Minister's Special Development Fund arhajar arpulai arhajar arpusau. Kenang bakahima kan yo ban lum ban lang ki nyut na kayodo bat ban penkit da kani kakali kit nyut manit berat samarten. Uba peniat sing siem habakira na gajingelang ula ay gajingero yu menteri rang ba gajela u Conrad Kongkal Sangma. Ubala ay ya kani kakali nyut bat ulaong ba ka executive committee jong ka KHDC kala shimkia bonwanra ya gajing kuat ya yodo. Bat ki wegi jaka ki bahap apo gajing kemi jong ka council. U chief executive member ula pentip baka KHDC nalor gajing tumu bonwanra ya gajing kuat ya yodo. Kan senang penbahap at penboni ki jaka lit bar nagbenta ka bit kabiang jong kinong lit yo lit hat bat kinong syong dukan. Ulong ban sependai ru di kor CCTV bat ban penyeng ru iki solar light ban don kajing syai ki por menmet kenang ban don kajing sngan iki nong syong dukan bat iki nong let nong wan.
Da kajung temu ban penjanai ban penyar su ya kajing ajing sakri ya ki samla pulie jong kari boy ha kasi pelai jong kata yo labu yo mau nong rem na ka benta bentai ya ka commerce but science stream jong kari boy Presbyterian Higher Secondary School nalor kajing dan lepa ya ka jaka pulie ya ka arts.
Banang penyar ke jeli jong kajing nang jing start ha ke distrik Ribhoi. Kawini school balarim ha ke distrik Ribhoi kata ke Ribhoi Presbyterian School. Kalau yok man sedang ya kajing tay sebagai way pat kesnat jing kuliah kata ke higher secondary section nalor ke arts. Bat menta entay pat se ke commerce bat ke science stream. Hagani kesini ke ba jing kemen ki bor peniat school bat kisam la pulia haga bala play yo mau nong rem do ba Vincent H Pala UMP Shikolok Sabha Kumukong San haga jinge don lang uba Meral Bonds MLA ka nong po ikong PL nong lad i District School Education Officer ka District Ribhoi uba W Radu Principal ka Ribhoi Presbyterian High Secondary School bat kiwe ya kane ke building ka bantai ya ka commerce bat science stream lamang ha kajunglut ke bakot komba sauklor ndrup saulak nyupui hajar tengka ya ke belamang hi de ke balang Presbyterian ha ke bana kaliang ki bor peniat school ida angnot ru bana kaliang UMP bad UMLA kathan baken pai kemat lem ban penbiang ya ke jingduna ban pendep ke building ha bakran ke ni kesingi uba Vincent H Pala udah penpau ke jing kemen ke bakrau ban saki bakan ni ke shlem ajing nang jing start baklanang yar bat kiau na ko bai ke snam shkoi pan bat ka bakam sngot nat kalong baleng bakan ni ke shlem ajing start kalala ban penmi kireu krau hagi bobon kiliang ulia thoru bamanta ke sorkar kladan pedang ke jing trei ka babor ba banang penklan bat penjanai ke puli putih ha ke jelah he brok kawai ki bane hap kat kum ka jok bamanta kamtam kat kum ka National Education Policy da ke baken turu exam la pulia hagan ke district baken long ke bayai minat bat ke batresh tom kumno baken pau bat dan kieu ha ke jing em jongki
ngai berbor blada nimdon ka arts nimdon ka science nimdon ka commerce ting ikna pulia jengi le ni kalau we jong ka cai jengi ting kam do yang rela ni don ki subject ki prepare bagi kena berpulih ki kuat ki pulih ke bagi kuat je ya ka branch bagi kuat kate ke jadi pendiri joni kate ya ke jing kesen kate kalau we jong dari hero tengah ai ke hero ke start jong di sinot ban pekat na trai sau kurur kam te gi mani kat kate la depsna kani gi school kat ni la depsna kate ke office la depsna kanya iwabon ko yung mani batmay la depsna kam ke sama ke jing ya tuli kam tam i gari boy na ya tre borbor baki nong penyak jong ki school ki balang per na i ki tre stoma ko ang ni boy ki tuli apa yang don judo jing kermen na kermen ba kan de ko ado ban pendek dari sapro makna ron play yes bon kibrio ia dak yang riboya ba compare la choi te kermen ba kan ke jitu jongpi kum ke sinot ke jitu jongpi kum ke managing committee ke jitu jong ke school kan long ke job kan long ka bahan na ta kalawai jong ke jitu
Menteri Rang Bak ka Assam, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, bat Menteri Rang Bak ka Meghalaya, Konrad K. Sangma, Haksi belang jong tayo kila play ka Karbi Hampton ne ka Karbi Bhavan Halaban jong ka Karbi Anglong Autonomous District Council kata ka KAAC.
Ya kane ka Karbi Bhavan latay haga jinglot kabakot arpuway klor san paulak tengka da ka Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council KAAC. Hagani ke jingelang u Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma badu konrat kongkal sangma kila buru yau monong rem bantai ya ka hostel ka basis pa jingthia bat ka commercial complex. Hagani ke jingelang le dan lang ru sembut menteri rang ba ka jela Meghalaya u ba asnyo balangdhar u chief executive member ka Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council u Dr. Tuliram Ronghang u chief executive member ka KHADC u ba peniat sing siem bat kibe-kibe. Habakran ne ke jingelang u Himanta Biswa Sarma u ai kublai ya ka KAAC kebalashna ya ka Karbi Hampton badulai kublai ru ya ka jingyo jingkershan nak sarkar Meghalaya. Ulang memental adep ban pendep ngene ke jingtai ka Karbi Hampton badon beteng banchna sa ka hostel bad ka kompleks. U Himanta Biswa Sarma ulang ba ka jela Meghalaya bad Assam klelong perlok naduk kesnam syajar kendai sba anyo puar. Henry naduk balong menteri rangba u Konrad Kongkal Sangma ban mau kumu menteri rangba ke Assam kilashim kya shisha ban ekran penbej uput usam rengkat ke jingkerku nak sarkar preng bat kilala ban penbej ya ki jinga kaja. U Himanta Biswa Sarma ula kentui kipat ba ke Meghalaya bat Assam bagi dei bansa kum ki para marjan menta lasai bat ki pateng banwan. Kat bau Konrad Kongkal Sangma ulong ba ukerwo ubami na kene ke jingalang kalong bandon ya ke jingsuk ha padeng kipat ba ki basa akatan kaput kini gi arjela barwala kala bandon ka kendrum kendram ki emlang salang ndagi de benet trailang banwengi kini gi jing e baro ulong babaro ki district council ki badan hakatan ki de benet trailang da kowe ge jingmut ban penne pensa ya kalariti ka riti ki dostur tenrai aktian ka thliet bat ki bikibai Ukondat Kongkal Sangma ulong ru baladai trailang da kowe gi jingmut bat kemensiam onla baik banweng ya gi jing e baro bat bani imlang da kemensiam ka jingelong spara
of inauguration of Karbi Hampton and also the laying of the foundation stone for the 100-bedded students hostel cum commercial building here at Shillong. At the very outset, I would like to congratulate Tuliramji and the entire members of the KAAC for having today achieved a great milestone of completion of this particular building, for which I know that for a very long time the Honorable CEM has been continuously monitoring, making multiple visits to Shillong and ensuring that the project finish as quickly as possible. So I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate him and the entire team of KAAC and of course Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma ji, under whose leadership in the state of Assam all different sections of society and all different areas and communities are getting the kind of support and attention that they deserve. And today's particular event is another shining example of his leadership and of his commitment to the people of Assam and also to the people of different communities, irrespective of which caste or creed or religion they belong to. But for all the people, his commitment to ensure that there is overall development of Assam and ensure that there is an inclusive development of Assam. So I thank him and congratulate him and Dr. Tuliram on this great achievement that has been done today out here. And I think by being together, by supporting each other, by being there in each other's programs, sends a very powerful message to the rest of the region and to the rest of the country. And therefore, I always urge, have conferences together, have programs together, have discussions on how you will document the different cultures, the languages, the different history of our people, create it, put it in document, put it in digital format. It's important that we do not lose our knowledge and our culture and we do not forget our roots. And I think that is one of the most important things for each and every one of us, to never forget our identity, to never forget who we are and to never forget our roots.
As I told you that this is an important day for the people of Karbi Alam. We have completed Hamtun here in Shillong, and the next project, that commercial building as well as 100-bedded student hostel will also come sooner than later. People of Karbi Alam has a long bond with the people of Meghalaya. We share our boundary and we are friends. That is why a Karbi Bhavan in Shillong is very important milestone for all of us. I believe that in days to come, in the same spirit of brotherhood, in the same spirit of Northeast, we will be able to resolve the remaining problem between us.
Haswa bang ne beteng su ki kubor ni ne phai biang swa sipor sa kini kijing penbena.
Are you having trouble in having baby? Nearly 27.5 million couples in India actively trying to conceive suffer from infertility. Cherish your dream of parenthood with us, Janitfa IVF Center. Now we are in your city, Shillong. Our state-of-art assisted reproductive technology and our team of doctors and embryologists will guide you to realize your dream of parenthood. Consult Dr. Arpita Sharma, Chief IVF Consultant, Janitva IVF Center, Guwahati. For further details, please contact www.janitvaivf.com or contact Janitva IVF Center, Shillong.
Haswa bang ne kmi biang ye ki kubor ngi ki bidang sa ngi pen kan mau ye ki mat bakong san takatayo. Sedang kedorbar senrai benya ko VPP berpenong tang san sngi kedorbar. Haurisau on sedang ke jingi keren penbek bu da pedeng ka asam bad Meghalaya. Ka One Nation One Election, ka BJP ka di ban penduk no iki parti ki berit baria. Kwa ka KAAC ban trelang bat ka KHADC ban wan ra ya ka song suk thong san ha khaput. Hang tala kibor penyak ka Riboy District bat pulet ya ka kerdap krong khajna ka KHADC ha umdiha. Pli uhimanta bat Konrad ya ka Karbi Bhavan ha Shillong. Bat pli menteri rambak ka Meghalaya ya ka Wine Incubation Center ka baningkong ha ka than stelam ni. Haswa bagi thayele kai football jong ka Saidan Secondary School kinmi ban le ishimenta ka national level Subroto Cup ka bandri phulai hakasi hat majai lakit bokit riang bat ai so bahai yakani ka kenuhun ni lekai daki smartwatch hakajing yelang ka balalong hakayin bar jong ka snong Saidan.
Sa season 4 kita hela kai football jong ka Saidan Secondary School jong gi bahapo kanyo snam gerta kiban sami no shan nagane jella ban let mi khmat ya ka Meghalaya shaka national level Subroto Cup ka bandro phulai haka khadar tarik unai luar ar hajar ar pulai kli op diang dagi smartwatch kum kadak ban pen kup buram yaki bat banai men siam ki haswa begin mi nagane jella ka khat kandai tarik unai luar hadin keding sha pen tebet ke bapaka haslong. Ya kini ki smartwatch bala ai subhasha ki la ai do ba bakman thangkeu rengkat ki bahayang bahasam jungu ki beri kinong snong Saidan bala ai ti kini jing ai subha ka program pun kop buram ya ka kenhon jong ka Saidan Secondary School ke bala penlong ha ka khadar tarik unai luar ha ki yang dorbar jong ka Saidan. Nalor ke jing ais ngobha daki smartwatch. Nagaliang keyboard niat skol lembat kedor bar shnong saiden. Kila ai ke jing ais ngobha banang penrhem ke mensia melakai jong kitai lakai. Kibanya ai reng pat ha kenong ba Delhi. Ha ke bakani akan huon kala sya akan thup ka pool G. Bakini kun nengkong persya akan huon jong ke gowa ha ke arpo terik unai lur. Ha gejing penkup buram yang kena kekenhuan lawan ban ai mensiam dau ba Donlang Soklet Vice Chairman ka Meghalaya Employment Generation Council kum Kongsan uba Bobby L Nongbet District Sports Officer bat kibai-kibai. Uba Donlang Soklet abakran kena kesengi ula ai kejing ro shkat de ai kekenhuan jong Kasaidan Secondary School kebelet trish tom bat minat top ban yo ai kejing job haduk ha ke district level bat ke state level jong ke lumpung ilakai jong ke Subroto Cup kam tamru ke jing kok ngu jong ki yakino hikai bat kino ngelam jong ke school ulong bawa lah ke school kadang de school ke bedang don shibun ke jing nuna hendak la saki bagi bor penyat da ke jing trish tom bat ke jing dan lade kila ban poi shaduk ke thong
ini kesap katalan ke baki don ke baki ai bau blade ai yang tak jompi pendel kamu hok ya kan ini kata pendel kamu lalu pendel kamu hok ya kata video yang usok yang namjok nam betah kadang yang poin ini nama school jompi bat hantam nantara setiap kejelah jomi jadi kadang hari kepor ngan kalian kejongan ngan ai kebok yang nantara jompi ki kun sana tu ki ban mi na ko na shlong tu ni na ko silent ngangit skam bag pinlong ki maulana hakmat jom dari unda di par ko bombo ne umde shu pimi na ta na school jom pi shu pimi na ko dong boy ni hene mata pimi university na ta jela jom ni ki par ko ngangit skam ba kejimi kejumpi kejim generation kejumpi ngane inyo uso ubetian ai uso generation kejumpi kalau sisya banora ya kana kum kejim jumpi ko kumno how real kamlong kepala hande how play para kepala dende dengan ini kita tahu suap ini yang tidak kaya kejumpi dan mau untuk suai ni hari jingduai. Ublay udah kemana? Ublay udah ko, ublay udah ublay, ni ublay udah snow yang jingduai jadi. Lalu duai ngalih sekarang ublay pun penting yang kelenti kecapi, tapi yo usah ketiak. Nak betul, wanra yang kenal kecocok, harus snow ketau, berharap jelas ini jadi. Berkamtam, anda tidak boleh sendiri bersama jadi. Kabak kemen tam kade ya phi kimi kikpa
Kumsi benta ban plelat ya kinong senawan jong kejela bakin la ban penmi ya kawan ka bala sena na kisok kipai bat hak jo kapor ban penya yo yaki ka sarkar jela kala ple ya ka North East Wine Incubation Center ka badan hamau diang
Ya kini ke North East Fruit Wine Incubation Center ke Beningkong akatan dalam mingi lepli Menteri rang ba kejelau Konrad Kongkal Sangma rengkat ke Jingadon Lang Menteri Ketenat Excise ubak Kermencela ke Menteri Ketenat Kerep Karyang Dr. Amprin Lingdo bat kiwe-kiwe. Konrad Kongkal Sangma ulong bagi sorkar kelapan kre ya kamat rekam ban kentiu ya ki karkhana shna wine de kiso ki badan haga jela balapan kre ya kamat rekam ke bekerpang ke ban kentiu lang ya ka kam jung okai perthai karep karyang ke jing seng kam lajong ba ke jing thau kilat ai kam ai jam lang ba ke jing kentiu ki trai jela ki bashna wine de kiso ulapan pawe ke jing kermen bah keleng ki jaga jung okai ke dukan ke badan ki jaga jung okai perthai wala da kim de ki dukan kiat Henry onla ban yo ikni wine na kikat to kani kijaka jungokai but on dan kam ya ka license ban dia ka wine ka bapin mi hi de ki breu na kejela. Uloong bakani ka kam kadai ka badan jinge dai bat ka tanat jungokai ka rap karyang ka jing thau kilat ai kam ai jam bat kadai ka kabu ban play kalat ka bala shu ie barosh kata. Menteri Rangba ulapan pau ke jingkong san bandon ya kerukam terikam bat ke jinga jingkershan ya kinong shna wine ha kejela.
This is now called the Northeast Fruit Wine Incubation Center, an EFWIC, and this is the first of its kind. It's a model fruit winery. It's the first of its kind in the Northeast and probably in the country also, because there's no such winery that has been set up by the government to train people. Most of the training wineries are in the private sector, but this is the first one that has been set up in the government sector, and it's been set up in the IHM, Institute of Hotel Management here in Shillong. And the IHM now in Shillong is the first winery in the country to have, so the first Institute of Hotel Management in the country to have its own winery, where they will be teaching a full-fledged course on making wines. So it'll be part of the also syllabus, and they'll be issuing, they'll be conducting certificate courses. So right now those courses are being conducted by the Meghalaya Farmers Commission. But going forward from now on, they'll be the IHM will be doing the trainings for winemakers and other students. So the objective why we set up this winery here was two things. Because you see, we are a farmers commission and we are related concerned and related directly to the welfare of farmers. And as you know, wine and food, these are the end products of farmers' production. Farmers produce the raw material, it is converted into food and is converted into wine. So it's the final closure of the loop. You know, we're closing the loop. So this is the last stage. So we talk a lot about farm to fork and farm to table. So this is a perfect example of that concept, where farmers produce like pineapples, oranges, ginger, plums, pears, peaches. All these are converted into wine for final consumption. So what happens is that as per our data, we are seeing that on an average, each winery is spending around 2.5 to 3 lakh rupees per season just to buy fruits. And many farmers are actually producing fruits specifically for the winemakers.
Many people have been involved in making the local fruit into wine. And this particular process was not legalized, and a proper policy was not in place. So what we did was, in order to promote the local winemaking industry and also to support the farmers whose products normally would go to waste because they would not be able to sell it in the market, and hence processing it and making it into wine would help the farmers. So keeping these 2-3 objectives in mind, and obviously to get a brand for Meghalaya in terms of tourism also, we had decided that we will legalize the local fruit winemaking industry. And based on that, we came out with a policy where the registrations will take place and licenses will be given to the winemakers, but at a very nominal rate. And the process also is something that we would want it to be very, very simple. But then there were some hurdles that were mentioned by some of the officials, and hence I was referring to those hurdles that were there. But the registration has to be done, because that's the way we will ensure that quality control is there. A list of all the people who are producing is always maintained, and obviously a process of registration so that they're legalized. So those aspects will be there. But say suppose you have to pay 1 lakh, 2 lakh to start some other excise program. The amounts here are in hundreds of thousands of rupees only, maybe a few thousand. So it will be very, very nominal. So that's the whole idea. But registration is compulsory. Otherwise we will not be able to track and will not be able to certify the particular manufacturer, and hence that process will be required.
Kasorkar jela haunai luar kesenam arajar arpau kalapan kelai ke Meghalaya excise rules Assam excise rules ka kendai sepak saupusan lengba kejeng penmena patba hak arp kendai trik unai luar arajar arpau man itu no dagaan ya kejeng penmi ba kejeng de ya ka wine ka belasna hayeng lengba ka license ban ailat ya kinok shna wine bakin shna ka wine ban yo ban penyat yo kajing temu jong Kasorkar jela kam dai tang na kebenta ban kentiu ki karkhana shna wine na kejela ndai kan ajeng mentoi ru ikinong rap kinong jung okai perthai bad ikinong seng kam la jong ki badan ha kejela Kajing plepat ya kene ka wine incubation center kadai de kajing temu ban la ban penmi iki wine ki bakerpang rengkat bat ban penurlong ya kajing temu ban penlong ya ke Meghalaya kum kenong ba jong kajing sna wine na kiso hakari India.
Kerteng juga kadai kersan Kevin Pasa jangan ni peran ni ru ai kiwil wine kadai ni dan argun ide husband and wife ngadai Kevin but ide ni simlang ke kerteng mas teng tingi ai Kevin. Dengan ni ka wine kadai sna ya poslong ni but kalau job wine competition ru senam arhajar kuai cherry blossom but kini ketika first wine ka ban showcase but sell outside the state adal hi la arsin ta kada first ketika apa badai kalian age pada first anniversary but pineapple festival te haduk menta ka respond customer kabun hi ka demand kemur but ka production kadang long duna ta mre haduk menta ki bru kelas itu ka yang wine te gini so ngiyo ni ya ni ayu lang kinong rap daling lang kinong rap lah ini yang yarap kinong tingis nang ni kawan mensna ada for covid time apa arajar alpo le last 2020 te bagi farmer kim la ban di so tingis nang experiment shot niat din ni IT different family and friends tingis bang sedang mana ayu pat compete
as of now there is no barring as such in terms of that. People are selling in different programs here and there, but yes, because the policy is not very clear whether you can or not, we would start off by at least ensuring that in hotels and different tourism locations that we are able to make it accessible to tourists and promote the wine and certain locations and certain shops. So we will explore and in a phase-wise manner go, because the accessibility of such products has to be there, especially in tourist locations. And because that's the idea, we would want tourists to take back these kind of wines to their home and showcase it and talk about the wine industry in Meghalaya also. And that's the whole purpose of doing this. And yes, we will, in a phase-wise manner, by taking all stakeholders into confidence, we will slowly move forward and see how we can make it more accessible. It is only for the local fruit wine industry, made by the local winemakers out of the local fruits that we produce.
Giladon Hendri Puprangut hakakan huan ke Benengkong kibala pendap eka wine appreciation and wine making certification course kebala sedang ngadu ujeliau hadu unaitung arhajar arpulai. Kat bah hakawat kebaar giladon arpsan ngut kebeliau jing hikai ha unailar. Kumta hadu menta kini kibeliau jing hikai barok kidon kendai pulai ngut bansnaya ka wine. Yakni ke wine appreciation and wine making certification course la penlong dak MFEC dak jing temu ban kentiu gi trai jela ke badan nega sap ha ga ban snai ke wine tenrai syaka wine kat kum kejuk ke bementa ban penti kena ba ke rukom long jang ka wine ke ba penmi nak jela ke de ke be hap kerdan bat ki wine ki ba penmi ha keleng ki jela bat ha keleng kiri ke perthai
di mentangi layo license sudah macam senam di of course kita dan formalities penyiapan pendap ban brand registration itu di nadu bagi yo license di long kala kam improve harga ni business yang iru menta pe daladap registration daladap yo ka license ni lala ban bu hakis wine stores di kene ke di production kan ye di be na ying di long Bagi batip mo ki laban wan kid nangi de benta pada pengin ala ban bu apa wine stores lor kata na tragidan ki colleagues ni ki bala la ban bu ki Taj hotel ni 5-star hotel so layo mo exposure kan tinda bagidan mo exposure da baka ki items jangi ki products jangi ki dan haki dukan tagamot more people can buy them di long ka business jangi ru kala kham ladon kata ga boost.
Incubation Center, the purpose of Incubation Center is to provide technology, training, capacity building, and to some extent allow the technology to be used by the entrepreneurs. It's not some place where the production necessary will be the focus. The focus is really to create that ecosystem and a platform and a location where the winemakers can come and test, try, learn on how to make wine and how to maintain quality of wine. And this is just that. That's the purpose of an incubation center.
Kadai kata namar bapet ko minta dilong ban hidang ya nyempadan hidukan jong beros kata ye dan betang mengisna gini wine fruit ye khot bet gini ki daily wage difference. Sama minta baga license peden da bak la bon ka demand nyimban sih yin hab ya khat be yin hab dan be ki permanent employees di long ki ban ya na ki wines da ki jong ki ban promote ki wines jong ni da ki jong nang ta ki ban represent ni ka brand jong ni man ta be ki dan ki na ma ki la ban ya rap ni 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 la ban ya rap ki da ba ai ki so I think kaya rap pun ba ya ka yun hindi tang ya ngi bangin ya yo long alom ka kam jong ni mo kadi ka income jong ni ti long ni la ban ai lang kini yo lat ki pi ya ka begini yo income lang ni lo.
See, right now we have 10 licensed wineries, but we have 60 winemakers. Okay. As I said, that each winery is spending around about 2 to 3 lakhs of investment in buying the fruits. You multiply that by 100, comes to a couple of crores. If we can scale this up to about 100 wineries, then farmers don't need to look for a market anywhere else. Very simply, it's very simple economics. On an average, some wineries spending about 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs. But each farmer is getting around Soyong farmer is getting around 15,000 per tree. So it depends. It depends. But yes, if you have skills, easily all this production of fruits will be taken up by the wineries. That we have no problem, no doubt.
Dakatugo kubor ngila poisha ko bakut jong katup kubor jong im takata yo in say shampat bat phila shamte yo ha ka ju asi ha ka ju ko por sa shi sin pat le shi